Tomorrow he'll visit areas of North Carolina that were hurricane flooding disaster areas, and he'll go to the Los Angeles area devastated by wildfires. And there are 2 new ones burning. A small one near Sherman Oaks, another north of there near Castaic Lake has led to 50,000 evacuations.
The fire exploded from 50 acres to more than 5,000 acres just within an hour or two. Crews with the Los Angeles County Fire Department and Angeles National Forest are battling this wind-driven fire that officials say is burning in very dry brush.
Fox's Christina Coleman. That fire is now over 10,000 acres. That doesn't burn any structures, unlike the previous fires that destroyed thousands of homes and buildings. 7 police officers are in recovery in San Antonio, Texas, after being shot last night, responding to a suicidal man who opened fire on them and then barricaded himself in.
The suspect was found to be deceased. We don't know if he was shot by a self-inflicted wound or whether or not shot by SWAT officers.
That is San Antonio Police Chief William McManus. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry, Terry.
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it.
Woo!
Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
You voted big government out and efficient government in. Now it's time to trim the fat from big wireless. Pure Talk gives you the exact same service on the exact same towers with better customer service, all for half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Pure Talk to save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. It is Thursday, day before Friday. Great day. Every day's a great day when I get to hang out with my buds here on the Morning Extra and you at 404-741-1230 and at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. I'm give out, y'all. I'm a little tired this morning.
Why?
Well,
it's Thursday.
I know.
Things are good.
I know. All that's true. Everything you're saying is correct.
Did you have to stay up late last night?
Kinda. So my wife came home and she was so sweet. She made this sweet dinner.
Casserole?
No, I do love a casserole though. I love casseroles. This was like a
duck?
No. You know what?
Well then,
I've eaten duck, but never. No,
what are you celebrating it for then? I mean, she's not making you a casserole or duck. Is she really celebrating tug?
Well,
right.
She asked me what I wanted, and I told her I wanted this little chicken teriyaki thing that she makes, and it was so
birthday
good.
Tug. Come on,
Dude, it was so good. And we didn't plan to get out of the house because it was, cold and all that. And she picked up like a slice of cake that we split at Publix that was so good. And then I get a text from Colin Wheat. And
okay, our general sales manager who reaches out to you because typically when he does, he might be wishing you happy birthday, but he also wants something.
Yeah, he did wish me a happy birthday, but he wanted me to meet him at Central City Tavern in downtown Alpharetta and to dismantle Dry January.
Oh, no!
And so
yes.
We're officially damp. We're officially damp. January.
Okay.
We're damp.
Well, again, you made it to birthday on the 22nd.
Yeah, so
that's pretty good.
I had a couple last night.
You know what? Here's the deal.
And now I'm dragging today.
You get to re-virgin. Like, haven't you heard that term from women we've been growing up with? Yeah. You get to re-virgin from here on out for the next 7-8 days, and then you're fine.
Yeah. Right. I never heard that term before.
Oh, you never heard that before?
No.
Born again virgin. Ask Joe Virgin.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's born again.
Yeah, born again virgin.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, you get to re-virgin damp January.
Same type of...
Yeah, no.
No,
it's
okay.
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You're a born again dry January-er.
Okay. I just have...
For lack of a better term, it's a little bit mouthy. It's a little bit full of words.
Yeah, sure, but I just had never heard this before. I just never, ever in my life.
Really?
Joe's looking at me, I got 4 heads.
You've changed your life.
Okay, yeah.
Congratulations. Now you're good to go. Congratulations. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
Now you got 8 days.
I'm back.
As of the 23rd, you're now right back into dry January as a re-virgin.
Yeah, okay. All right.
You know what? It's dumb anyway.
Well, Rhino.
What?
He's put so much time into this.
I know. I feel like
he spent 21 days making sure, this is what I'm doing.
And the majority of the 22nd day.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like 6.
I don't know. There's a part of me that's a little bit bothered that you let our general sales manager, Colin Wheat, be the one who... He broke your virgin bubble.
He's a pusher.
Okay? Yeah.
He is. Oh, my God, is he ever.
He's a little demon.
Yes.
He's a little demon.
Yeah,
Again, not very evil, just kind of evil.
just kind of evil.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to bring him down with me.
He's evil light.
Yeah, he needs a degenerate friend, so he goes and tries to make degenerate friends.
Yes, I know.
He's trying to bring you down a bad path.
I mean, he could have called 10 other friends, but he decided because it was your birthday, you were in a moment of weakness.
Well, and here's the thing, because... our families used to vacation together when our kids were a little closer in age, and it's just, just doesn't work anymore, really. And, for like 5 years, we went on at least one vacation together as families. And we used to have I've seen Colin Wheat drink 38 beers. And, and he couldn't drive, don't get me wrong, but he was coherent. I've never seen a human consume beer like Colin Wheat. It's impressive.
Yeah,
what he's able to do. If that's your goal,
sure.
He's good.
Coherent.
Yeah, he's coherent.
I like that.
He goes into a store and kicks over a 12-pack and goes, "Where are the 30-packs?
That's exactly.
I got time for this."
Right. And
where are the Keystones? Damn it! There's a 30-pack.
Cooler full of Keystone. The Riley Green there.
12-pack crap.
Yeah. And so I had given him for probably the better part of a year. I'd given him a hard time because I'm like, dude. We're not going to ever get a cold beer together or nothing? Not a drink, nothing? So a year, I've been giving him crap about it. And he was like, man, I got time. I got to coach ball. I got this. I got that. Whatever.
Sure.
But I would still give him grief about it. So when he does reach out and go, okay,
that's it.
It's time.
Go.
But after giving him, I've been giving him crap for a year. So I was like, okay, all right. Okay. And so I gave in. I caved.
Not good for you.
Yeah.
You know what? It's your birthday. Celebrate it.
Yeah. We just Central City Tavern in downtown and shot the breeze and talked about crap didn't matter. And nothing important.
One thing
good.
One thing that comes out of this though that because I figured this out as I now I'm part of Damp January as well. Made it all the way. All it is a reminder that. Hey, guess what? I'm not an alcoholic. I can quit it.
I can quit whenever I want.
I can do this.
Yeah, I could do it. If I wanted to, I could get this done. I made it this long.
Hold on. Am I the only one that's left?
Yeah.
Are you still in?
Yes.
Well,
completely not damp. Completely dry.
Okay. I guess so, Joey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a glass of wine.
I know. Yeah.
Loser.
Yeah. Yep.
I had two.
Complete loser.
2 makers and Coke.
Double loser.
Joe Virgin's a winner.
Winner.
He is,
That red meat starts flowing.
I wasn't competing,
I need a red wine with it.
Dude,
I know.
Red wine is so good.
So good with the good steaks.
I hit January 1st and I went, well, there's football games going on.
You've got football and volleyball.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, this is drinking season for me.
That's right.
I was actually pretty chill during most of family time in December, and then it turned into, hanging out with all the parents again. Let's do this.
Is there any part of the year that's not drinking season?
Yeah, December.
December's not drinking
You're
season.
around the family.
I get up first thing Christmas morning and start drinking. What are you talking about? Yeah.
I don't think I ever did
We're
that.
actually pretty chill during the Christmas season because, let's face it. I'm at the point now where because of, whether it's grandmother, aunts, uncles, everybody else, you don't want to be
belligerent.
Exactly.
No, I get that.
So we keep it kind of chill during. Okay. It's like an 8-day period where things are quiet.
Yeah.
Then as soon as we get back to Atlanta, here we go.
I could go probably most of December, right up until probably Christmas Eve, because I like to sit around with my family. My dad likes to have 3 fingers, and we'll sit down and have a little nightcap, and then in the morning, what that 3-finger nightcap became, probably 12 fingers real quick. And then the morning I wake up and I got to get a Bloody Mary for Christmas just to kind of check back in for the rest of the day. And then I just keep going with Bloody Marys and mimosas the rest of the day.
We're just not big breakfast drinkers.
And then New Year's Eve is
I'm not either.
New Year's Eve's a bowl game.
Yeah.
So exactly. It's time to go.
I drank New Year's Eve night, but after midnight, I didn't have anything after midnight.
Yeah.
And none through the bowls, none through the,
No, my in-laws big mimosa drinkers.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving, here's what we're doing. But my family not the same way. So it's much more chill.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Until we get to January 1st.
Then it's
like, here we go.
Changing gears, changing lanes. I love it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. We don't really have it laid out like y'all are definitive on what you do. I don't really know what we do. We kind of do a little bit of everything. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
I call him Colin. I'm like a little bothered by this.
Yeah, me too. You let him drag you now.
Well,
yeah. I mean, like if there's anyone who's going to burst your bubble when it comes to dry January, you let Colin Wheat, our general sales manager, do it.
Yeah.
Colin's so full of S. Like, and that's the thing too. If there's anybody that I'm around where I have to take 50% of what he says and just say that's a pure lie. I mean, we're in our 40s, and yet I have to sit back and listen to Colin and go, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I mean, just, it's what it is. And you chose to be BS'd during that time period.
Yeah, I love the guy. Can't help it. He's a
likable fellow.
He's a mess. He's a big old mess is what he is. It was a good time though. We and I love Central City Tavern. It's a good little spot there when in downtown. So pardon me. Whew. It's already caught up with me. The dry January and damp January, and it's already messing me up, getting me sideways. But the fight or flight, I didn't have that Lois was talking about. I should have scurried away. I should have ran away.
Should have gone home.
That's right, exactly.
Your wife had a casserole ready for you, and you were like, "No."
We ate before we went. Mm-hmm. That's the crazy part. But the left, though, they are in that fight or flight mode right now. Though it is fight. They're trying to push back on Trump's any of the executive orders, the birthright citizenship. Which I look at the birthright citizenship. I knew that was no big deal. But there's a bunch of them of the executive orders and things that Trump is doing that. They are going in direct opposition of what the American people want.
Oh, yeah. They don't even understand why they're fighting at this point. They're fighting because they lost, but they don't even know why they lost. And that's why this infighting is a lot of fun to watch. Jill Biden is fighting with Nancy Pelosi's daughter, each one of them taking shots back and forth over the pressure campaign that led President Biden to say, hey, guess what? I am not going to continue to run. We talked about this story. I know they denied it so many times about Nancy Pelosi going in there and forcing him to step down. Obviously, Joe Biden feels that's exactly what happens. I think she has an inside source to that too. So I'm going to believe Joe Biden on this rather than Nancy Pelosi's daughter, who's saying that's not what happened. At the same time, the vice president, Kamala Harris, the former vice president, let me say now, she and her staff are really, really upset, saying that Biden's comment about he could have beaten Trump was the reason that she lost the election to Donald Trump.
Well, she blamed Doug yesterday. I mean, she blamed everyone except herself. She was given $2 billion and a ready-made system and the media, and yet she lost all 7 swing states. Okay, these people are, and I love this because we talk about flooding the zone. If you're familiar with the term in football, it's where there's 2 defenders in the zone. We're going to put 5 receivers in. You can't cover it. What's going on is that the Republican Party, when it comes to what's being run by Donald Trump, he is launching so many offensive weapons into the area that they're busy looking around going like, hold on, who's got that one covered? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
And so all they're left to do is now blame each other.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Yeah, it is great to say. Here's a quote from one of Kamala Harris's aides. Who the hell does he think he is? We're in a mess because of him for basically saying the same thing I just told you before, which was that he could have beaten Trump. The other Democrats are saying, no, we were really bad about talking about immigration and transgender rights. We're not going to win this election. And one of my favorite quotes was from a Democratic strategist, Tim Hogan, who said, no one likes being alive for their own autopsy. Ooh. Democrats are in a complete tailspin.
It's a funny way to put it.
That is. Yeah. That's very cleverly worded.
Yep. It's like, pick away at my guts while I'm alive.
It's funny because Pelosi's daughter went after Jill saying, well, look, my mama's the only person talking good about Joe Biden at this point, She was, but it's funny that they put up that.
Yeah.
And look, it's her mama. Of course she's going to defend her mama, whatever. But there's not a bit of me that believes that Nancy Pelosi is saying anything that she believes when it comes to Joe Biden. She may say nice things now,
sure,
because she's trying to cover the tracks.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's daughter is a chip off the old block. Remember, this is a woman who decided she was going to do a documentary on January 6, 2021, of her mother walking through the Capitol. That was part of her documentary. She was there filming that. They knew something was going on that day on Jan 6. The Pelosi crime family, they're the same thing now. Biden crime family, Pelosi crime family. You basically have two mafias fighting each other at this point.
Goodness gracious, it's nuts. It really is. To see the Democrat, I mean, again, good for us. I'm not upset about it at all. But it is interesting to watch. It's like watching TMZ or some show on Bravo, because it's so dramatic, and they're such sore losers, and it's all finger pointing, and it reminds me of like The Bachelor or something like that.
Everybody wants to have the right answer.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And the problem is they're in a situation where none of them have the right answers, because none of them can look at themselves and say, I was the problem.
Yeah, they have the right answer. They just don't want to look and see in the mirror what the right answer is. The right answer is that they played a game that they lost because nobody believes them anymore. They're lies, and they continue to lie. They continue to disparage anybody that does not agree with them or maybe on the different side of the political aisle. Here's a quote from AOC that they bring up where a lot of the centrist Democrats have problems with. This was AOC, and of course it's going to come from this dummy. She says, "Let me make myself clear. I don't celebrate rapists." And then they go on to say, these are the kind of comments that lost. He was never convicted. They're trying to make something that isn't. And the American people didn't believe any of the things that they threw against the wall. None of it stuck.
Well, when you are in a situation economically where things are a challenge, you just don't have time for the silliness. You know, we talk about what happens when you are comfortable. You tend to have a little bit more time to go, oh, let me get into the nuanced idea of what's going on here. And, this happens to come down between this rapist or this person who is as clean as the wind-driven snow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't care if you've committed 10 rapes. The thing is that when economically things are bad, people will gravitate towards the person who's solving that problem.
It's natural.
It's what it is.
I mean, it'd be like, so if your arm got cut off, and who are you going to run to? The doctor, because he can fix it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, that doctor's a serial killer, but can he fix it?
Yeah. Right. At that moment, you don't care.
I'm just telling you, that's what it comes down to. And it sounds extreme. It sounds crazy. But here's what goes on when you are struggling, you are desperate, this is what you will go to. And they still have not gotten to that point where they understand that.
Yeah, and Democrats right now, they're even spending for 2028. I know we're 4 years away, but they talk about it. We don't have anybody in this party that can stand up to a Trump administration or has a coherent strategy in order to push against the Trump administration or whoever may be next, which they assume would be J.D. Vance in 4 years from now in 2028. That's who they assume is going to be the primary winner, is J.D. Vance, based on that. But you see it every single day. We saw it yesterday with the Lake and Riley Act, Democrats jumping on board with the Republicans. Look at how much Trump has changed the way this government is functioning. We're actually getting bipartisan things done where people say this is common sense, this is legislation we need, and we can't say no to this. We're going to jump on this bill as well.
What did DJ T say? We are going to have a revolution of common sense. And that's what we're getting. The troops to the border, we'll talk about that a little bit later. The promises made, promises kept. The raids in Boston that happened yesterday. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are happening. They've had a plan from the get-go, and it's so funny to see the Atlantic magazine say, he has no plan whatsoever.
They're not kidding around.
Dude, they are not playing. And people like the Atlantic look dumb. They always do. I mean, it's a rag, whatever. I don't even know why I give them the credibility of referencing them, but
we spent 4 years with a dementia patient, and he moved at the speed of bread mold. Mm-hmm. Not the case anymore.
And that's right. Things are ass is getting done, as they would say. 6 o'clock hour is brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. With home team Brandon Lake for the morning show down the hall at 680 The Fan tells me more snow is on the way. This is terrible news. But if you have a Subaru, you'll be fine. That all-wheel drive helps. All right, we got headlines coming up, and the Talkmaster checks in on Extra 106.3.
Attention Warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Extra 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
One of the hardest things to do is to walk away from a paycheck. As retirement planners, Masterplan knows how hard it can be to pull the trigger on your own retirement. Don't go it alone. Masterplan is a holistic retirement planning firm that works with you to create a retirement plan to help maximize your golden years. Through income planning and money management, legacy planning, and tax planning, we create a plan specifically designed for your life. Enter retirement with confidence. Contact Masterplan to analyze your retirement outlook and create a plan that's right for you. All initial consultations are complimentary, so contact us today and begin your pursuit towards peace of mind. Visit masterplanretire.com. Masterplan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Masterplan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Masterplan Retirement Consulting. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth, or they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there, napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
Why does it matter that D. Geller & Son is Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler? Because we get first dibs. When diamonds come to Atlanta, they come to D. Geller & Son first. A bunch of diamonds that look the same on paper, but there's about 1 in every 10 that you can see from across the room, and a lot in every 10 that are what my dad calls duds. So we keep the good one, we pack the rest back up, and they go somewhere else. That somewhere else is usually a big box store that's not quite as picky. That means the same color, same clarity, and same price gets you more brilliance, more sparkle, more bang for your diamond buck at D. Geller & Son. That's what we call the D. Geller difference. So why are we so picky? We live, work, and play right here in Atlanta. So when it comes to getting you the best diamond, we have to get it right. That's why Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler became Atlanta's favorite diamond retailer. Come see the D. Geller & Son difference for yourself and find out why we've been Atlanta's most trusted jeweler since 1939. In Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, online at dgeller.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. U.S. District Judge William Ray has rejected a proposal by Cobb County to allocate $750,000 in taxpayer funds to be distributed among black firefighting candidates. The federal government had previously determined that the county needed to address racial bias in its firefighting hiring practices and increase the number of black firefighters. The proposal, developed jointly by the county and federal government, was intended to resolve these issues. However, Judge Ray ruled against it, stating the court notes that the relief proposed is intentional discrimination based on race, where only those claimants who are African American are entitled to relief. Cobb County maintains that any alleged discrimination in its hiring practices was completely unintentional. The Lake and Riley-Ack has cleared his final hurdle, passing the House of Representatives yesterday after being sent back from the Senate. The bill now heads to President Donald Trump's desk for his signature to become law. Introduced by Georgia Representative and friend of the show, Mike Collins, the legislation grants federal immigration agencies broader authority to detain undocumented immigrants accused of crimes. The bill passed the House by a vote of 263 to 156, with Georgia Democrats Sanford Bishop and Lucy McBath voting in favor along with the Republicans. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Xtra 1063.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. It's time for Neil Boards, the Talkmaster. The only place you can get him is on Xtra 1063, and we're delighted to talk to him this morning. Neil, we are starting our third day of the Trump administration. I would love to know your thoughts so far.
Oh, good and bad. By the way, it's 46 degrees down here. Who can live in this stuff?
Oh, my
goodness. Try 14 in Atlanta.
Well, that's your choice.
It didn't change. You're correct, but it didn't change the fact that it sucks. And look, this is not a typical Atlanta winter. It's not.
No, it's not. And it's going to be up to 62 today, so that's fine.
There you go.
That's
You'll be
much
all right.
better.
Yeah.
You'll make it.
Okay, good and bad. You know, I just learned something this morning when I woke up from my stupor yesterday, so thanks for giving me the relief.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
The suspicion is, and I'm getting tested today, is that we didn't kill off the E. coli and it came back with a vengeance.
Oh,
no. Yeah, God. It's always
talk
something.
about damn the luck.
You know, and when you're my age, you don't just shrug this stuff off. But the good, I know you guys have talked about it because I never come up with anything you haven't talked about.
Well, once in a while.
You're always that's why I'm glad I never had to compete against you.
No, you're too kind.
Too sweet.
Donald Trump has essentially ordered that any federal employees whose job it was to enforce DEI policies be gone by tonight.
Adios, y'all.
Bye.
Don't you love that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's been celebrated quite a bit.
I love the fact that he put it in the Civil Rights Act, or put it as a part of the Civil Rights Act, talking about we should have equality for all, including, white Americans and all Americans that even you disagree with, rather than just minorities. So we're going to cancel all of this so that we all have the same rights.
Yeah, I love it. Now, and I also am really amused by Joe Biden's attempt, as he's leaving office, to make the ERA amendment the law of the land. What a clown. He now says it's the 28th Amendment. It's the law of the land.
What a goon.
He has no idea how amendments are made, huh?
Well, no, it's the worms. His brain has worms by this point. I mean, come on.
I mean,
He's
it'd be hard to argue.
decomposing.
Yeah. Oh, yuck. Oh.
By the way, have I ever told you all how to kill a tapeworm?
No.
Oh, how's that?
I believe you brought that up before.
Well, I'm not going to tell you, but if you want to put a kit together, just get a hold of 6 hard-boiled eggs, 5 Tootsie Rolls, and a hammer.
Whoa.
I gotta tell you, that is
right.
that's something I've never.
I have no idea what to do with them, but I'll put it together.
Yeah.
I got the hammer
get the
and
kit
eggs.
together. Just okay. Now the bad.
Yes.
I understand why he did it. I understand why he feels, or he might have felt compelled to do it. But this pardoning of all of these people, and especially some of them, yes, but who beat on cops on the January 6 riots is beyond the pale. Like this guy named William Lewis. He got 3 years, okay? He sprayed wasp and hornet killer at police officers who had to go and seek treatment for their eyes. Wasp and hornet killer in their eyes. A guy named Thomas Castleman hit multiple officers in their faces with pepper spray after he researched on the internet looking for information on the statute of limitations for assault on a police officer. Some of these people, they should have been in jail. They should have stayed in jail. I hope there are miserable consequences in that they have a hard time getting jobs. But Trump, I think he felt, I have to do this because they were there because of me. They were there doing this because whether I intended it or not, they felt that I had asked them to do this. So they did it. And so I am personally bearing some of the responsibility, and I'm going to issue these pardons. But it's still a huge black eye right at the beginning of his administration. I'm very disappointed with it.
I'm extremely excited about it, and I will tell you why, considering that when you look at what's going on in American cities, assault on a police officer might get you 18, maybe 24 months. Neil, these people have been in prison oftentimes without a real trial for 4 to 5 years. If that is not what communists do all around the world whenever they seize power, that is something that we should be offering a blanket pardon. I'm with you. Like, you should spend time in prison, but what is too much when you're a political prisoner?
Yeah,
and no one else in society is getting these sort of fines or penalties.
Well, I mean, this guy, he got 70 months. Okay, that's what, almost 6 years, I think. My math sucks. He was wearing brass knuckles under a glove when he assaulted these police officers. He held one down on the ground as other rioters stomped on that police officer for over 20 seconds, causing a concussion. Now, a guy that does this, how much time does he deserve?
But
what's the precedent?
The precedent's already been set when they were doing the same things in Minneapolis, burning down, attacking people, attacking police officers, and nothing happened.
I know.
The precedent has been set.
There are certain communities that have, depending on the state, a 2-year minimum sentence on any sort of assault, battery, or anything against a police officer. Then there are others where it's a minimum of 1 year. And so I guess that's my point. You deserve, because let's face it, 4 to 5 years in prison is no joke, but an indefinite amount of prison time for these people, I think, goes way too far considering what has gone on.
Well, assault on a law enforcement officer or a first responder, I think, is in a special category that deserves much harsher punishment than an assault on an accountant who screwed up your tax return.
Right. No, that's right. I think all that's right. But
what is it? What is that sentence? Because we don't have that idea, and we also don't have what actually went into everything that is involved. Number one, can we talk about the due process that they were not allowed, or the ability to talk to their lawyers that they kept them in jail for,
or the torture that they were submitted to. And these are people that, some of them took plea deals with the intention of they weren't allowed to actually tell what actually occurred, how they were actually, as to point out, there was one gentleman I was reading, how the FBI and the prosecutor said, here's what you said. It's like, I never said that. If you don't take this plea deal saying this is what you said, you're going to prison.
Okay, listen, I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
But tell me, just how in the world does a guy with cans of Hornet spray in his coat, how did he just accidentally happen to attack a police officer with that?
Right.
Yeah, no, and he deserves to be punished. Nobody's disagreeing with that part of it. Yes, you deserve to be punished. But what is the punishment, and who sets it? And when will we follow that? Because it's not been followed to this point in the last 4 years.
Listen, guys, I agree with you. Some of the radicals on this issue, however, they were just touring the Capitol. Oh, yeah? So maybe if we just took these guys and turned them loose in a padded room with about 10 police officers. Give the police officers 5 minutes.
That's what they were doing already in the gulags of D.C.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the problem without any due process for these people.
And it was also part of the entrapment of welcoming everybody into the Capitol and then attacking them and firing pepper spray at them. I mean, the police attacked them first,
like the same
in almost every single scenario.
The same people that had a problem with torture at Guantanamo Bay are not saying anything about torture of American citizens in this country.
Well, I haven't read about that. I'll give you that. You're always ahead of me, but I will try to look that up. By the way, you want to come down here and
is it warm?
Because if the invite's open, we're on our way.
Oh, nice.
I'm completely changing the subject on you.
Okay.
Completely. By the way, I hope you people don't have any pipes freeze. God, I have.
We're trying to avoid it.
We got dripping water all through the house. We've turned off the water to the outside faucets and emptied the pipes already, man. We've been trying to do our best knowing that this was coming.
I had pipes freeze in my law office.
Ooh, that's no good.
I went in there. Well, you don't need the details, but when you open the front door to your building and a wall of water pushes you back onto the sidewalk.
Goodness.
Yeah, not good. Okay, total change. You remember the Tylenol murders?
Yes. Absolutely.
Refresh my memory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's somebody was putting poison in capsules of Tylenol. I think it was in Chicago. I'm not sure.
It was, Neil, and that was what ended up causing for them to now you have the safety seals on it because somebody was dropping, was it cyanide in them at the time?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned the safety shield. So with this little thing I've been going through, I've been having trouble getting a good night's sleep. So I use Instacart a lot because I don't like grocery stores. So I use Instacart. The order arrives day before yesterday, and there's a box of Tylenol PMs. And I am going to take 2 for last night because I did not sleep the night before. And I open the box, and then I take the little bottle out of the box and open it, and the little foil cover has been opened, peeled back. So what's my next move?
Throw it away, take it back, one of the two.
Well, I damn sure didn't take any of the pills.
Well, yeah, no, definitely not that.
Well, I just want credit for that.
Oh, yeah, that's a smart move, Neil.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, I'm taking that box over to the grocery store today, and I'm going to show it to them, and I'm going to show them what happened. And my guess is they're going to say, well, we'll give you another box of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll go no further. And since I was using Instacart, I think it ought to be investigated from one end to the other. I think starting maybe with the guy that pulled the box of the pills off of the shelf at the grocery store and then delivered them to me.
So do you think it was the
same guy?
Do you think it was the person that was delivering to your house that did this? I mean,
it's possible.
Well, it certainly is possible, but you're.
I'm not saying it was.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
But it's certain that's where the investigation would start for me.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, no, I think, stuff like that, especially if you see like a one-off, it seems like it'd be, something could have happened in packaging, manufacturing. I don't know. Just me speculating here, it's spitballing. But if you see a trend, and that's, obviously that's when you're like, wait a minute, somebody's doing something sinister here.
I think they need to go to those boxes of this on the shelf and take a look at them and see if any of them. I don't know. It's so wide ranging, and they don't know who I am, so it couldn't be. It
doesn't matter though. Criminals they're just looking for somebody to to take advantage of. Somebody that has some idea like that. It doesn't matter that it's you or who it was. They just want to cause havoc.
Yeah. Look. It's just it unnerved me because I was already sick as a dog, and then all of a sudden is somebody trying to screw with my little Tylenol pills here. It's
weird.
It's of no interest to the listening public. Okay, I understand that, but it just unnerved me, and you validated that I did the right thing. I didn't take any, and so I didn't sleep again.
That part sucks.
So. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
As bad as it sucks, though, you may just have to go to the store yourself. That way you can be assured. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, the other day we asked about, I commented about who was watching who during the inauguration.
I saw some wondering eyes.
Yeah. So now we have Fox News coverage watched in across the country. 11 million viewers. 11 million viewers for Fox News. And let's see, the others, the networks and what have you, they didn't even come close. And I don't know what MSNBC was, but it had to be, CNN, 1.7 million. Fox News Channel, 11 million.
Wow, yeah.
MSNBC, 848,000. Guys, you have more than that listening to you right now. ABC, 4.7 million. CBS, 4.1. NBC, 4.4. Fox got 11 million. Right. Now, think about this. Look at the message that's being sent to the national media in this country that Fox is delivering the news product that they want to see and hear, and the rest of you are pulling up the very tail end of all of this, and it doesn't look good for you.
Yeah, look, the reality, I think, sets in when you realize people are looking for Fox News, and I know they say they're fair and balanced, but the reality is I think they're looking to get away from the true lies that you're getting out of an MSNBC, ABC. They saw the lawsuits against George Stephanopoulos on ABC, and they still got they got more viewers than the others, but the reality is I think people are tired of the lies they get from some of those media outlets.
Well, they are. And then I decided, and this is just part of the delirium that goes with how I've been feeling, I decided to tune over to MSNBC for a bit on I wonder how they're covering this.
It's delicious to do
fun.
so. I love doing that too.
Me too.
Yeah. And there they are with the Krylon across the bottom of the screen. Convicted felons sworn in as president of the United States.
They just had a meltdown.
Just couldn't help themselves.
No.
But that's what helped them lose.
But that's how you lose. Play a little more straight, that's all. You can be critical.
And they have to know that as soon as it goes through the courts, that whole felony conviction thing is going to be overturned.
Of course it is. And here's the thing, Neil. It doesn't matter to them. That they're so married to their ideology and they're so married to their deep belief, real or not, they're so married to it, they cannot let it go. It doesn't matter if it's damaging. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Rachel Maddow is so hot, or she'd never even be on TV.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point, Meg.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
She is a smoke show. There's no doubt.
What, Rachel Maddow? Looks like Keith Olbermann to me.
She's so far up there on the Budweiser scale.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Cases and cases.
Okay, guys, I'm headed to the doctor.
I hope you feel better, and we will talk to you again next week. Neil Bortz, Talkmaster, here on Extra 106.3. When we come back, a blueprint to fight back against the leftist media on Extra 106.3.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
The Atlanta Hawks lost last night to the red-hot Detroit Pistons, 104-114. Trae Young was shut down by Pistons point guard Cade Cunningham, only posting 13 points on 5 for 13 shooting with 5 turnovers. Cunningham, on the other hand, had 29 points and 11 assists. The Hawks couldn't buy a three-pointer, shooting 6 of 38 as a team, with DeAndre Hunter going 0 for 9. Atlanta will try again tonight at 7:30 against the Raptors in State Farm Arena. And after an incredible start to the season, the Georgia Bulldogs basketball team has lost its 3rd game in a row, this time coming to Arkansas, losing 65-68. For Extra 106.3 Sports, I'm Joe Virgin.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning, proud to bring you the 28th annual Winter White Sale. For over 78 years now, they've been keeping homes safe and comfortable and energy efficient. So now's the time to make your home even healthier with Carrier systems that provide fresh, allergen-free air and proper ventilation. Plus, you can take advantage up to $2,000 off rebates on Carrier products. The industry leaders in quality and performance, the best in the business, working with the best in the business. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, one of the very few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. A lot of them have sold out over the years, but they kept that local name, hoping you wouldn't notice. Now, you probably wouldn't just in name alone, but when you started using their services, that's when things would become abundantly clear to you. So don't wait. Check out Central Heating and Air Conditioning's Winter White Sale. It ends February 28th. So we got a little over a week here in January left, and you have all of February. But you need to get it done right away. Whether it's a new system, saving you $2,000, a repair, any brand, they can fix whatever you have, or a maintenance agreement to make sure that your HVAC lasts as long as it possibly can. Visit centralheat.com or call them at 770-GET-HEAT. It's 770-GET-HEAT. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now the security riddle of the day. When times get tough, where do you keep your stuff? Answer, in a quality safe from the Safe House, of course. Don't go to a big box store and get a fake safe. That would be as effective as Joe Biden's fake border policy. For over 30 years, the Safe House has been providing the best quality safes on the market. Brands like Browning, Fort Knox, and Champion. And with the largest selection of safes on display in Georgia, we're confident we can help you pick the right safe to fit your needs. So drop by our huge showroom or go to AtlantaSafehouse.com.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guests are Brian Whidbey and Christy Canner of the GBI Cold Case Division. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
The Morning Extra from 6 to 10. Glenn back until noon. Clay and Buck from noon to 3. And the Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. Plus Jesse Kelly from 6 to 9. And Jimmy Vela from 9 to midnight. The voices you need all day with a conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on a cold Thursday. If you stand on your tippy toes, you can see the weekend. It's right there within your grasp. Now, it's going to be chilly, but we're going to make it through. We're going to be fine. Even a cold weekend is better than like a weekday. I mean, if you're asking me, that's just my opinion on it.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. Anybody that argue, I'd probably not think less, but question your, judgment. That's the way I would handle it. What is it going to warm up? I mean, we don't do weather every 6 minutes or anything, but is it going to warm up this weekend?
A little bit, not much. I mean, you're not going to get, 50s, 60s, but you'll get up in the 40s on Saturday is what I read. Okay. So
yeah, we're driving over to South Carolina to see a baseball game. So I'm wondering how cold I'm going to be sitting out there.
That might be a little chilly,
dude. I'm telling you. It's tough when you're sitting on some,
Yeah. You didn't bring those hand warmers.
Well, yeah. Remember last time, because I did this in the fall, I brought those hand warmers, and then they didn't work.
Oh, no.
That's what happened in the Georgia Tech game. Also, I bought those little hand warmers.
You bought the broken ones?
I guess. How can you tell?
They're supposed to have a chemical reaction that would keep your hands warm, and
how do you know that they're broken? And well, you don't know.
You
know when it's too late.
Yeah.
But when we went to the Georgia Tech game, I had them, and I was working them, because you got to shake them up, move them around, whatever. I was working these things, and nothing.
You got to go to Home Depot. I saw they have these like vests or like jackets, and you put them on, and they have like heaters all the way through the back and front. Yes. So you'd be warm.
I need one of those. And you can get those at Home Depot?
Yeah, I saw them on, I don't know if Milwaukee makes them or one of the big companies makes them, but they are for work site out in the cold, and they have warming, I guess it's like
elements,
batteries or whatever. I don't know. It keeps you warm all day.
I don't know who makes them, but I know who will be buying one soon. That would be yours truly. Tug, Rhino, and those on the Morning Extra. I want to show you how to fight. Because CNN and Jim Acosta, of course, they are problematic. They don't tell you the truth, Los. They don't do things the right way. So there's a strategy you have to have.
Well, now that Jim has been pushed later into the evening in order to adhere to what the administration wants, that's funny.
That's great the way it goes. Yeah.
You're so popular that they have to take Jim Acosta and go, what hour do you want him on?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, 11? Okay.
They make their notes.
You got it.
I love it. Check this out.
What is it that breaks through all of this? You know what that is happening? Where and to that voter that I told you guys about, who likes Trump, but is going to probably not benefit at all from his policies.
I think the hardest part of getting to that voter is not what we say, but reaching that voter. And I think part of it is volume. If you look at Donald Trump's inaugural day, he did 3 inauguration speeches. The real one, the overflow, the rally at night, then a press conference, right? It
was a reality show.
Yeah. And when you are playing a volume game, you need rep after rep after rep to make sure it gets clipped on TikTok. Yeah. It gets shared on X. And the algorithms are killing us right now. Like Elon Musk is skewing everything towards the Republican Party. So we need to try even harder.
Elon Musk is skewing everything toward the Republican Party, or is the failures of the Democrat Party and the fake news media, they finally getting what they deserve, which is ignored? That's kind of the way I see it.
It's like a puzzle they can't quite figure out.
Yeah, right.
Like they don't realize it's you.
Why don't
it's hard when you go about your situation and you recognize, like, let's say, for instance, you live on a street and you're the biggest pain in the ass. And all your neighbors know it. But you don't realize that you're the biggest problem.
Yeah.
You're the one with the noise complaints. You're the one who has too many people parking on the road. You're the problem. But you look at it as, well, my neighbors, it's just totally unfair the way they treat me.
It's all them. Can't be me.
The media. You're the biggest problem.
I love your puzzle analogy, though, because it's like, you ever seen somebody they're putting together a puzzle and the piece looks like it kind of might go there, and they try it and they try it and they try it and be like, dude, it doesn't fit.
The funny part about it is that they reject the obvious answer.
Yes.
Like
right.
There's clearly a piece that goes in here and they're like, nope.
It's this one.
It can't be me.
It's this one. Yes. So you wonder why they don't have credibility, and that's it. And I love the fact that they had to bring up Donald Trump's stamina. The fact that he is able to do 3 balls and he's able to do news hits. He's able to sign executive orders right there in front of people and give a play-by-play, a color commentary, if you will, about each executive order, Rhino. Because remember, they talked about him being too old there for a minute.
Yeah.
Because their guy wasn't able to do any of those things. This guy's in the neighborhood in age, but when it comes to ability, stamina, and just life inside him, that spirit inside him, dude, unmatched.
Yeah, you know that they recognize that because the minute after a full day of inauguration, he goes to a very boring service by a partisan bishop, which is crazy.
Holy cow. An activist that we learned.
And he closes his eyes for like 1 minute and everybody like snapshots it and goes, see, he's old like the last guy. So you already know that they're threatened by the fact that he has so much energy that he can go almost 24 straight hours.
See?
The reality of it is we had a guy who, had a time schedule that we had to put out there that, hey, the U.S. government only runs from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Otherwise, we're closed.
Don't attack at midnight.
Yeah, like on Google, if you go in and be like, federal government's closed at 4. Sorry, closing soon. But the reality of it is this. They see this. It's common sense. So the only distraction they have at this point is to really just throw out all these. Meanwhile, he continues to go. He continues to be transparent with what he's doing. He told you while he was running what he's going to do, and now it's all coming to fruition in 4 days?
Yes.
Well, this is the blitz. This is where you come out and you're just hammering with one thing after another, and you put your opponents on their heels. What are they going to defend? There's so many things they have to deal with. Now, a month from now, 2 months from now, it probably scales back, and that's going to be part of it. But you make it a point that they have to be the ones that have to try and explain all the things that are going on. Mm-hmm. And whenever they're outraged,
they don't know which one to yell about.
Sorry, there's something else that comes right behind it.
I tell you, man,
like,
I don't
what's
know.
today? What are the 10 things today?
I don't know that it. I know you said 2 or 3 months it dies down a little bit. I don't know if it does.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude,
there's so much work
because he
to do.
knows he's only got 2 years of the entirety of the government.
Yeah.
So it may be 24 months that it is just rapid fire every day. Does it slow down off the pace that it is? Maybe a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think he is going to rapid fire this 50 cal this thing for 24 months because he knows he has to.
Yeah, what he's doing right now, I think, is very important. What everybody that's on, in government right now, they're getting rid of all the woke ideas, all the restrictions that are on them to get the job done, to make America prosperous, free again. So they have to get rid of the woke ideology. So let's get this whole trans argument. Let them flip about it early. Yeah. Let them fight, go to court, do everything they need to do. It'll all die down, and we'll get things through.
It's pretty a simple recipe. I think a pretty simple recipe. And you see Donald Trump sticking to the plan. He's not changing. He's not deviating. He's not listening to Jim Acosta or CNN. He's not listening to anybody. He knows what the American people want. He knows what they voted for. And now he's delivering. Promise made, promise kept. We've been wanting this for 4 years at least, if not longer. And you're finally getting it. All right, when we come back on Extra 106.3 after a Fox News update, just following the law, that's going to clean up a lot of our immigration mess. Next on Extra.
Hey, it's Flounder, and the Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
I could never close a deal. I was always a big brother. Well, never mind. Nobody wants to hear that crap. Sorry. I'm sorry. How are you? What's going on in the mountains?
Gay big brother, huh?
Oh, don't worry about Kim.
No, they were...
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Have you thought about securing your hard-earned assets? Do you have concerns about the future? Protecting assets is crucial, and that's where Nelson Elder Care Law excels. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we provide absolute assurance and peace of mind through our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust, tailored services in estate planning, probate administration, Medicaid crisis solutions, guardianship, and conservatorship. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and empower informed decisions. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com for asset protection and peace of mind.
Start the new year in style behind the wheel of a brand new Cadillac from Jim Ellis Cadillac. From the iconic Escalade to the innovative electric Lyric, Jim Ellis Cadillac offers the models you know and love, along with the latest in luxury EVs.
And the buying experience, just as luxurious as the Cadillac name itself. With great prices, a great selection, and a team of knowledgeable sales associates, you'll love shopping at their showroom, conveniently located on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter.
Prefer to shop from home? Visit JimEllisCadillac.com, where you can browse all the latest offers and even start or complete your entire purchase online with the Jim Ellis Expressway.
Want to try before you buy? Schedule an at-home test drive and enjoy the convenience of home vehicle delivery.
Start the new year right. Experience luxury like never before at Jim Ellis Cadillac. Jim Ellis Cadillac, where you can always expect the best.
Jim Ellis, expect the best.
Donald Trump's America.
President Trump says if there isn't a deal to end the war in Ukraine, he'll impose high levels of tariffs and sanctions on Russia. Writing on social media, we can do it the easy way or the hard way. It's time to make a deal. No more lives should be lost. The president claims Russia would not have invaded Ukraine had he been in office in 2022 and says he's always had a good relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin, but writes it's time to settle the ridiculous war.
President Zelensky would like to have peace. He's told me that very strongly. He'd like to have peace, but it takes two to tango. We'll see what happens.
President Trump telling reporters this week he'd meet with Putin anytime, anywhere. It's unclear how these new tariffs or sanctions would be implemented. The Biden administration imposed wide-ranging sanctions on Russian banking and energy sectors, in addition to providing billions of dollars in U.S. aid and military equipment to Ukraine. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. If your surgeon is showing signs of stress before you head into surgery, it may actually be a good thing. Research published in JAMA Surgery says experienced surgeons tend to work best under pressure. Their findings show surgery patients had a 37% lower risk of major complications if their surgeon's heart rate revealed stress. For the study, the team followed nearly 800 surgeries of varying types, conducted by 38 surgeons who wore heart rate monitoring devices. These findings challenge the traditional view of stress as harmful in high-demand roles and instead mirror decades of sports psychology research. Study authors suggest surgeons might benefit from stress management techniques similar to those practiced in locker rooms. They emphasize while their findings showed stress might help patients in the OR, it didn't reduce any risk of death following surgery. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
1,500 more U.S. troops will be sent to the southern border. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News. As President Trump makes border security a priority, planning mass deportations of illegal immigrants, and he's ready to battle Democrats planning to resist in sanctuary cities, telling Fox's Hannity.
We're trying to get rid of them. We're trying to end them, and a lot of the people in those communities don't want them. You know, California is a big example.
Would you cut off their money?
I might have to do that.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports.
As promised, Trump has ordered Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers to carry out a series of raids in sanctuary cities. In the first 33 hours of President Trump returning to office, ICE has made nearly 460 arrests of illegal immigrants, including many with criminal records.
Now, one of the many new Trump executive orders and actions facing a legal challenge in court today, a lawsuit attempting to block the president's plan to end birthright citizenship, allowing anyone born in the U.S. to automatically be American. The president also reacted on Fox to President Biden pardoning family members before leaving office.
He didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
Now, Congress had investigated Biden family business dealings overseas in an impeachment inquiry, but Democrats insist there's no evidence of wrongdoing. President Trump also told Fox he wants to reform FEMA and disaster response.
I'd rather see the states take care of their own problems.
And tomorrow he'll visit areas of North Carolina ravaged by hurricane flooding last year, and the Los Angeles area scorched by wildfires as 2 new ones burn, leading to thousands of evacuations. 7 police officers recovering in San Antonio, Texas, after being targeted by a suicidal man they responded to.
The first officer arrived, was shot, and 6 others subsequent to that were shot as well.
San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says the gunman was later found dead. There's no school today or tomorrow at Antioch High in Nashville, Tennessee, where they're still trying to figure out why a 17-year-old student shot and killed a 16-year-old girl in the cafeteria, then killed himself. 2 other students were injured. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry. Terry! Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
You voted big government out and efficient government in. Now it's time to trim the fat from big wireless. Pure Talk gives you the exact same service on the exact same towers with better customer service, all for half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Pure Talk to save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
This is Tucker Carlson. You're listening to Atlanta's only conservative talk station, Extra 106.3. Worldwide on the Extra app.
I have shocking news for you. Shocking, I say. Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Nurses are the most trusted profession, according to Gallup polling, 24 years in a row, that a nurse would be the most trusted profession. Shocking, I know. Because, I mean, nurses are, typically they're so kind and they tend to and care for you.
And much more available than your regular doctor. I mean, your doctor...
You might see him, might not.
The job, especially when you're in a hospital, your doctor comes in and out every now and then, and typically is scheduling your surgery to bilk your insurance. Your nurse is the person who's regularly checking on you to be like, do you need ice?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Doing the...
You need a blankie?
The things that matter.
Give you that bath?
Yeah, to keep you comfortable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Would you care to take a guess, according to Gallup? What is the least trusted profession?
Lawyer.
Yeah, I think lawyer would be right there. Politician, lawyer.
Politician is correct.
They're like almost the same.
Lobbyist and members of Congress.
Sure.
Those are the 2 least trusted professions in the freaking country. Because why would you trust them? They've given you no reason to trust them. You explained well how nurses, they do things to care for you. They try to make you comfortable. They genuinely care. Lobbyists, they do not. They care about making money.
Money.
Congress clearly has cared about making money. Nancy Pelosi is the queen of it.
I will tell you, like, especially in the heart of COVID, like 2020, 2021, man, the best information I got was from nurses who were like, we have a messed up scenario.
Yeah.
When the doctors telling me that, doctors were sitting back just saying, like,
counting the money.
Let me see how many bonuses I can get from injecting people. The nurses were like, this is messed up.
Don't do it. Do not do it. That's exactly right. I knew you'd find that shocking, and that's why I wanted to share it with you this morning on the Morning Extra. Tug, Rhino, and Front Office Lowe's. Laws in place would, pardon me, laws in place. That's all we need to do is follow the law. And this immigration mess, Lowe's, is going to take care of itself.
Yeah. If all you do is you enforce policy that ends up reinforcing the law, everything works out fine. Remember, this was a scenario that we had several months back where the Democrats were advocating for, if you just go ahead and pass this bill, we can have border security. And it was spending predominantly Ukraine. We went through all the numbers. It was spending on foreign wars. All right. So the last 2 days, when it comes to foreign apprehensions, this is from Charlie Kirk, the last 2 days of the Biden administration, 12,000 apprehensions at the border. What have we had during the first 2 days of Donald Trump? 766.
Yeah.
Just enforcing the law.
Just enforcing the
Just
law.
enforcing the law.
Not changing the law.
No. Not going through some craziness, not spending crazy taxpayer money. We already have all the tools to implement this. It's just whether or not you want to exercise them.
What month was it? Was it October when they got in that big fight about we need to pass this new law? We have to give the president the authority to do what he needs to do to shut down the border to keep America safe. And all the while, they knew the president could do whatever he needed to do, just like Donald Trump is doing right now.
Yeah.
They knew it from the beginning. They didn't need a new law. They lied to the American people. They lied through the media, but the media knew too. Everyone knew that the president, at the time Joe Biden, had the authority to protect this country. And chose not to.
Yeah, he chose not to. He didn't care about what was coming across the border. He didn't care about the criminals. They were trying to build a base in order to beat the Republicans because they knew they were going to lose without cheating or finding a way to bring in extra votes. Think about what happened over the last 33 hours. It's been 33 hours into Donald Trump's presidency. 460 illegal aliens arrested. Here's what their criminal history, their background, not from just here, but from home, where they came from. Sexual assault, robbery, burglary, aggravated assault, drugs, weapon offenses, and resisting arrest, and of course, domestic violence. These are the 460 that have been removed over 33 hours. We are cleaning this country up. We are going to make America safe again. And you know what? I think the American people are going to stand behind this because when they hear that this is the list of the people, these aren't teachers like they want you to think, or a guy who's working, at my restaurant cooking and doing those kind of things. If I'm one of those employees or a restaurant owner or a business owner, they're going after the criminals. And people will realize that as long as you're upfront and transparent, the way that this administration has been so far.
CBS News is reporting that CBP officers have been told, do not speak with asylum seekers. Do not consider asylum seekers. We are shutting this down until we get a handle on our border, which is exactly what the American people voted for. This is what we all wanted. It is the right thing to do. Now, the Democrats and the leftist media are going to scream bloody murder. How could you? These people are just trying to escape being tortured or being persecuted, whatever. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have time to go through this. We don't have time to spend on every case. We have to protect the citizens of America, which is our first responsibility.
I got some Ukrainian neighbors, and they're fine.
Yeah.
All right.
They're cool.
I mean, outside of the time when I, kind of moved over a little bit to the left-hand side of the street in order to take, the Y turn into my driveway, and they peeled out around the right side, so had I actually turned, they would have T-boned my car. These are the sort of things that I think about when I go, you don't really need to be here, do you? Mm-hmm. You don't, right? I mean, it sounds terrible. It's like, okay, you don't really need to be here. I mean, America's for America. And I know, oh my God, it's an ugly American. Until we fix our problems, we don't get to absolve and absorb other problems. We don't.
Yeah, no.
That's just how it is. And, ugly American, fine. I'm the ugly American. Yep. But until we're in a better place, I don't want to bring in the rest of the world's problems. Especially from cultures and societies that don't respect law and order. I mean, we're talking about peeling out around the right side of my car when I'm trying to pull into my driveway. But that was enough for me to go, those people down there, they shouldn't be here.
Yeah. No, the reality is, and I like what they're doing too, the work they're putting in to set all of this up, to make it almost seamless. What he did with his executive order, I thought was very important. Telling everybody that Tren de Agua and MS-13 and these cartels are terrorist organizations. It's set up for the ability to say, hey, here's who we're arresting. Here's who we're putting, detaining until we can get them out of here and getting them out of here. So they've done everything to set up for a successful and legal way to clean this country up. And I like that the DOJ says we're going to start making sure that anybody, especially state and local officials, if you obstruct immigration enforcement under President Trump's administration, you are going to be prosecuted for doing that and investigated. Because the reality is your job is to keep American people safe, not to keep somebody else that's not supposed to be here safe.
The New York Times has a headline that goes along with what Rhino was talking about labeling the cartels terrorists. And you know what the New York Times said? They're like, did you know labeling the cartels terrorists could hurt the U.S. economy?
I did see that headline.
What?
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from?
What, because we're running low on fentanyl?
Yes.
Wow. We haven't trafficked enough? We haven't been able to send enough guns to Mako?
Yeah, we don't have enough.
In the
human trafficking?
World. Isolating U.S. companies from cartel activities could be almost impossible given the criminal group's operation in sectors like agriculture and tourism, leaving some American businesses vulnerable to sanctions.
Okay, so what they're basically saying is this is the cleaning up of the Democrats' racism, by the way. This is them saying, well, businesses that have these people, the brown people, farming and picking strawberries and, cleaning up after them, they won't be able to have them anymore because of cartels. These cartel members aren't looking for jobs, by the way.
They are not.
They're not going saying, hey, hi, how are you? Listen, I'm looking for a job. No, they're selling drugs. They're selling kids. They're doing whatever they can. It doesn't affect the economy. In fact, it helps the economy. You know why? We don't have to have so much enforcement. We don't have to have so many court cases. We don't have to pay to get rid of them anymore. We need to go ahead, clean this up, and then we'll see a way better United States of America, cleaner, safer for everyone.
Gosh, yeah. And then, up in Boston, they arrested some of those gang members, people who are accused of murder, rape. And there's a story out there that a woman, when this was happening in Boston, a woman went up to the ICE agents and just merely said thank you because she'd been living among these people that were keeping her inside her home, terrified at all time because she knew what they were doing. Everybody in the area knew what they were doing. Now, there's been no word out of the city of Boston as far as their mayor or the governor for that matter. But I don't care what they think. I care what that woman said. Thank you for taking this fear that I'm having to deal with away.
Water finds its level. All right, like that's what happens. And so whatever the lowest level the water has to get to, that's what's going to go and happen. What has gone on with all this illegal immigration, when you're mass importing people that have a very little amount of skill, what they do is they find areas of society in which case they can be relevant. They ain't living in Alpharetta. They ain't sitting on your streets.
Right.
They're in areas where you already have a problematic situation and they're adding to it. Now, they might be trying to do their very best to, create a life for themselves. But at a certain point, you get hungry.
Yeah.
and you start doing things that you really shouldn't be doing. So that's the quietest secret kept, is that these people have basically said, we already had some issues in our neighborhood. Then you dropped in a bunch of people that have even bigger issues going on, and look what it's done to the neighborhood.
Yeah, and that is a great example of, people who may be here for good reasons, but are going to have to do whatever they can to feed their families and do the things they do and survive. Those aren't the people that you're really worried about right now. The mass deportations are the ones that we have to continue to get after, the criminals, because the reality is Democrats haven't cleaned up their cities. They haven't fought the gangs here. Look at our city, Atlanta, Fulton County. How many gangs have been cleaned up? None. They were all set free. They don't do the work. This is what's happening. Bill Malugin, who is on Fox and has done a great job with the border for the past 3 years, was there when agents arrested over 13 MS-13 gang members. They took them out of that community, and people were like, hey, these are murderers. These are rape suspects. And when you start to look at what they were guilty of, and a lot of these that are guilty of raping children, possessing child porn, all of this, you want that out of your neighborhood. I don't care where you're from. If you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, your police aren't doing it. Your mayors aren't doing it. You should be thankful that Donald Trump is sending in these people to get rid of all these criminals and hopefully make you feel safe in your neighborhood again.
And Tom Homan's been very, very candid about his what he plans to do, about his plan for people that resist, like those people in Boston or Chicago or L.A., and they could be charged as well, which I love. I think that is fantastic to see these people be held accountable, potentially be held accountable for what they're doing. Now we're getting jobs moving back to America already. We're 4 days in, y'all. This is the beginning of the fourth day.
Yeah.
Right? There's already companies going, you know what? I think we're going to head on back home.
Stellantis Investments returns 1,500 jobs to their Illinois plant. They're going to produce their new midsize pickup in Illinois, and they're going to build their next-gen Dodge Durango at their Detroit complex.
So you're telling me, since January 20th, there's already 1,500 jobs that's come back just like that. Lickety-split. Companies going, well, wait a minute. Maybe we should get back home. Maybe let's avoid some of these tariffs. Let's do what's best for the American people, since we're, that's what we're tasked to do in our business. We find ourselves in a better situation if we reshore, if we bring it back home. Already, Donald Trump has done more than Joe Biden has done for the American workers. Already. And I love it.
Well,
this is the first of many.
Well, hold on, though. Joe Biden created 15 million jobs.
Yes, right. I know he did.
Turned out was really about 3.5 by the time we got to 4 years, 3.5 million jobs. And oh, by the way, most of them were government jobs and went to foreign workers, not regular Americans.
That's exactly right. And government jobs, what is that doing? They don't create anything. They don't do anything. They create regulation. They create bureaucracy. It is built-in protection with the unions because they can just do what they want to or do nothing at all. We've seen that. You see the lawsuits against the Trump administration already because of the executive orders signing that brings people back to the office in Washington, D.C. They're suing because they don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
Let that bounce around in your head for a little while.
It is a weird, weird world we live in right now of these delusional and childlike Democrats. In reality, they're insufferable children, and they will continue to throw out these lies about the jobs and what's going on. See, they're already claiming that by getting rid of DEI, it's a racist thing. They're getting rid of black jobs. That's not true. It's not even close. In fact, most of the DEI hires happen to be white women, so that throws your narrative out the window. But at the same time, what we're doing now is bringing these jobs back, especially when it comes back to automotive industries. And that was one of the things that he promised all the union workers and all the workers in, Michigan area, saying, hey, we're going to bring this back. We're not going to let EV take over. We're going to allow you to build EV if you'd like. But at the same time, we're going to create an opportunity to build many cars. People realize the business sense. People realize that tariffs are good. External revenue service. Bring the companies back to America. Bring back American jobs from real private companies, not from the government, because the government jobs are worthless.
It's just not difficult to launch the economy. It really isn't. If you create an economic situation, oftentimes with tax policy or with executive order, where you make it advantageous for a company to keep jobs here or grow jobs here, the economy always explodes. It's that easy. It really is. And so what happens is that the left ends up asking the question, well, why doesn't my guy do that? Because they need you dependent on government. That is the entire reason why they never ever take the governors off the economy.
It would be very rare that a Democrat would ask that question because they've been trained not to ask that question.
Why does my guy not create more jobs, good paying jobs? I wonder why.
Yeah. Can't imagine.
It's just not that difficult.
It's not.
Yeah. I look, Los is not an economist, and he's already got it figured out.
Yeah.
Rhino's not an economist. He's
talked about this for the better part of 15 years. I'm like, you change tax policy, this is what happens.
Quick. And it happens quick, too. I don't know if you noticed. He's been in office since freaking
3 days.
Monday.
3 days.
The beginning of day 4.
You have 1,384 days left, leftists.
Gosh, so good. So good. It's good to be able to just see.
1,384.
But isn't it good to be able to see progress?
Yeah.
I don't remember ever recalling progress under Joe Biden, ever.
I'm looking forward. Day 4 starts today. This morning, he wakes up, and he's going to get things done, and we're going to be in a better shape than we were yesterday.
We, the people, despise elitists. Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
The Kimmer Show is only live on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
I have it on good authority that Flounder and Veronica thought long and hard for about 15 seconds to have you officiate.
I could have done 20. I could have done it. If the guy backs out, I can still do it.
It'll be our backup.
You'll have 2 backups there.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
You're setting a lot of goals for 2025. Big plans, new adventures, and Subaru of Gwinnett has the vehicles to get you there. The 2025 Subaru Forester is the same reliable SUV that earned the trust of drivers for decades, but with more adventurous style and more advanced safety technology. And you'll love exploring in the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek. It gives you up to 34 miles per gallon and the power of a 182 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine, adding plenty of go to your adventures. The 2025 Subaru Outback shares your adventurous spirit. With up to 32 miles per gallon and 9.5 inches of ground clearance, you can explore your world with confidence. And the 2025 Subaru Legacy is what happens when we put the best of Subaru into a sedan. The turbocharged 260 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine makes driving a thrill. Plus, every Subaru model comes equipped with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love is out there. Find it at Subaru Gwinnett, Satellite Boulevard in Duluth, or shop online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Hi, my name is Steve from Marietta, and we hired ATL Turfco to build our dream backyard golf setup. They installed a large 4-hole putting green, a sand bunker, a short game area, and did a full conversion to artificial grass around the pool with decorative retaining walls. ATL Turfco was really creative. They were efficient. The installation was a breeze. Price was completely reasonable, and I definitely appreciated their communication throughout the project. I would definitely recommend ATL Turfco to anybody thinking about doing a backyard makeover. You can check them out online right now at atlturfco.com.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. The civilian world can be confusing, and veterans do not need to journey through it alone. When you reach out to the Warrior Alliance, we will guide you to the best-in-class resources that can lead you toward renewed purpose after serving our nation. Find out why thousands of warriors have found success after service after engaging with the Warrior Alliance. For assistance, go to thewarrioralliance.org or call 404-210-1776.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Go beyond just a baseball game with your Atlanta Braves and check out Truist Park's Ballpark Tour. See the ballpark like never before and explore the franchise's rich history with artifacts, exhibits, and more, led by tour guides who will take you to places behind the scenes that most fans have never even seen before, including the press box, premium club spaces, and of course, step onto the field where your favorite Braves players battle it out during the season. And each tour comes with a complimentary player chain necklace. Visit Braves.com/tours to purchase your tickets today.
Fly ball to deep right by Marcel. Hello, Chop House.
And did you know Truist Park can host your next event? As a year-round facility, we host private events ranging from corporate meetings, trade shows, team building events, holiday parties, rehearsal dinners, you name it, Truist Park can host it. Visit Braves.com/events to get started on creating an experience like never before with one of Truist Park's unique venues. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. U.S. District Judge William Ray has rejected a proposal by Cobb County to allocate $750,000 in taxpayer funds to be distributed among black firefighting candidates. The federal government had previously determined that the county needed to address racial bias in its firefighting hiring practices and increase the number of black firefighters. The proposal, developed jointly by the county and federal government, was intended to resolve these issues. However, Judge Ray ruled against it, stating the court notes that the relief proposed is intentional discrimination based on race, where only those claimants who are African American are entitled to relief. Cobb County maintains that any alleged discrimination in its hiring practices was completely unintentional. The Laken Riley Act has cleared its final hurdle, passing the House of Representatives yesterday after being sent back from the Senate. The bill now heads to President Donald Trump's desk for his signature to become law. Introduced by Georgia Representative and friend of the show, Mike Collins, the legislation grants federal immigration agencies broader authority to detain undocumented immigrants accused of crimes. The bill passed the House by a vote of 263 to 156, with Georgia Democrats Sanford Bishop and Lucy McBath voting in favor along with the Republicans. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Xtra 106.3.
7 o'clock hours brought to you by Van Sant Law Group. If you're in an accident, make the right call, vansantlaw.com. Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10 here on the Morning Extra. I'm in a pickle. My wife is being taken advantage of, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Who did that?
Oh, no, who?
Because no, it wasn't him. Because she's fine with it. Like I feel like allowing it to happen. And you know, it's
is this like Joe Virgin River?
No, it's freaking Netflix.
Oh, okay. A giant entity from which you cannot run away from.
I have no control of. Well, no, and she invites it because she wouldn't cancel Netflix. I would. They're going up on their price again. She's being taken advantage of. I don't like it. I don't want to pay for it. I don't even watch Netflix.
What are we going to? Is like another $2?
Another $2.50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another $2.50. They just went up. Wasn't that like 6 or 8 months ago? They went up another. I'm tired of it.
It's the live sports. You're paying for NFL coverage.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
they've got live events now.
Live I of it.
I won't watch any of that.
I see this, and every single time I always make a joke to my wife. I go, "Oh look, Raw is on Netflix."
Yeah.
Right. Monday Night Raw is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Again, the more live programming you have, the more sticky it becomes. And your wife is has gotten sucked into watching Raw and Virgin River.
That's what she does. She watched Virgin River and some other show that she just wrapped up. It was a series that was something.
Love is Blind.
Maybe it had a French
90 Day
name.
Fiance.
Maybe
I can pretty much name all these.
all the lady shows.
All the lady shows.
I'm gonna look it up. I call it Mona Lisa, but it ain't Mona Lisa. It's something else.
I wonder if they'll get to the thing like Hulu. You can either get Hulu, which is no live programming, and then they just have all the shows and stuff, and you have to catch up. And then they also have the live, where you can get involved with the sports and everything else. So I assume Netflix might go to that eventually because we're getting back to the point where cable, people complain because you couldn't pick and choose packages. You just had to pay for this entire package. And now Netflix and all these others are going to that where people are like, well, I don't want the live boxing. I don't watch Raw. Why do I need to pay extra so other, grown children can go and sit and watch, a bunch of guys running around in tights?
It will never equate. I was spending, by the time I cut the cord, like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I was spending $2,400 a year on television that I wasn't watching.
So right now, it's because we have, one of the streaming services, that's $100 a month. And then we have Netflix, that's $15 a month. I think is that all? I feel like that's, no, we have Apple TV as part of the, and that's another, $10. So we're not far off from that. And nothing has changed, and I watch it just as little as I always have.
I pay for Hulu and Netflix, and I come in at least half price of what I was.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm good. I'm good there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm tired of being taken advantage of. I would love to set Netflix on fire. I don't know if they'll allow it.
Extremist.
Wow, extremist.
Well, I've been called that. Might as well act out.
Well, I guess
might as well be, live up to my name.
Well, all you have to do is go out front of Netflix and pray, and then they'll have you arrested. Right. You don't need to go to extreme and light things on fire. Just pray in front of there. They'll get rid of you.
They will have your hide.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Those years are over.
Yeah, well, let's hope in Trump's America that doesn't happen anymore.
That doesn't happen.
Thank you. America. In Trump's America.
Hey, Fox News even stole that. Did y'all hear that earlier?
Yeah.
I know.
They came out of the gate.
I'm so far ahead of the curve on these things, and I feel like I'm just being stolen from on a regular basis.
You can imagine if you got paid for everything that gets stolen.
I know. The next idea, they're like, in Trump's America. I'm like, oh, come on.
Hannity would owe me a ton of money from what he's stolen.
No kidding, man. And if we could just get the Chinese nailed down from all the IP that they steal, all the intellectual property that they steal, good Lord. That's in the bazillions of dollars. I want to tell you something that I feel this to my core. The American people, and America as a country, we are anti-elitist. Mm-hmm. I believe that to my soul, and I feel it because I am too. It's not to say that we don't like success. Matter of fact, we love success. This is the land of opportunity. We love people making it. There's not a greater thing to see when somebody makes it, and they've done better than they ever expected to. They got themselves out of the little town that they grew up in that, was going to have them working in a carpet mill or something. And then they go on and create something extraordinary. This goes back, really, it goes back to even the Revolutionary War. Elitists, the people that are in the elite, they look down at regular folks. And in the Revolution, that was the case. We couldn't stand the fact that some king thousands of miles away with all of his royalty, all the things that go along with that, we hated it, and we rejected it. And we still, to this day, carry that same disdain for that elitist point of view. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like we're still fascinated by the way the other half lives. My wife, she loves Princess Diana. She keeps up with the royal family. So we're fascinated. We just don't want to live under that. We appreciate the working man. And when it comes to those really rich people, those elitists, like Americans love JFK. He was incredibly wealthy, but he spoke to regular people like us.
Yeah.
He was able to communicate, and regular people responded to it. He was incredibly wealthy. Same with Ronald Reagan. Same with Donald Trump. He won by speaking to regular folks like you and me. We despise elitism. We want people to be successful in America. We just don't want people to look down their nose at us, and the Democrat Party is full of people that look down their nose at you. And that's why they lost. And that's why they'll continue to lose, because they've learned nothing. As we've discussed this morning and since the election, they've learned nothing.
Yeah, people will call, obviously, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos, and all the ones that were in the inauguration, they're all elitists, right? Because they have money and wealth, and now they have power. And well, you know, Donald Trump apparently has power, but that's not the real elitists that I think Americans are tired of, because they realize that Donald Trump made his way. Elon Musk made his way. Jeff Bezos started in his garage. Ronald Reagan was an actor before he got in. So the reality is the elitists we don't like are the ones that make money off of the people. The ones like the Bidens, who have never had a job, but yet they're still one of the richest families in the world. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. The families sit here and tell you that, hey, because the problem with elitists are they believe they should control society. They believe they know better than you and that they should be favored. So we can have 5 houses on the ocean, but you can't because of climate change. That's the kind of elitist we don't need in this country.
Oh, it comes down to, can you level with people? Can you get to a point where the regular average Joe looks over at you and says, okay, I get it. We're talking the same language. I think that's always going to be the challenge when you're wealthy, you're elite, you've got a lot of things going for you. Can you level with common America? And if you can, then you find yourself in an advantageous spot right now. It's not that we have an issue with people with wealth.
No,
we
not
have
at all.
an issue with people that cannot level with regular
It's
Americans.
a mentality.
Yeah,
we have an
very much
issue
so.
with a mentality of those people, not with what they have.
Right.
Because we would like to attain that too one
Sure.
day. Everybody wants to do better. Everybody wants to make more. Everybody wants to better themselves.
Everybody
But
wants
at
to
the
be
same time,
comfortable.
yeah, everybody wants to be comfortable. But at the same time, Americans don't want you to lose, hey, that's where I came from.
Well, think about it in the news media. All right, Pat McAfee has a contract with ESPN that's like $70 million. People can't wait for Pat McAfee to show up on a college campus.
Yeah. Right.
Joe Rogan has a $100+ million contract with Spotify. People can't wait for Joe Rogan to show up and do a comedy special or, call the fight. It's a mentality of, can I level with you? Can I have a common ground with you? And if I can't, well, then you're going to have a hard time with people moving forward.
Well, because when you looked at this election, you saw Donald Trump, who was in a garbage truck. You saw Donald Trump, who had a mug shot. You saw Donald Trump attacked. And you realize he's rich. You know what he is. But then you go, wait, hold on. That just brought him back down to my level.
He's a billionaire. Suddenly he's with me.
He's with me. The other side, you see Kamala Harris wearing a $50,000 necklace. I don't care.
No, fine.
She can wear that.
Fine.
But it's what she says.
the
You
mentality.
shouldn't want for more than you need while wearing that.
I'm suspicious of you. Remember
Yes,
Michelle Obama
I'm
said,
suspicious of you.
If you want more, I'm suspicious
They
of you.
couldn't-
Now, I am okay. It's fine that I want more. It's fine that I have 5 houses on the coast. But don't you want for it?
You're not believable.
But
You're not believable. at that
Kamala
point.
Harris didn't lose because she's a woman.
No,
she
of
didn't
course not.
lose because she's black. She didn't lose because of Doug. She lost because she couldn't relate to people.
Yes, she's
That
unrelatable.
is the largest problem that is going on the Democrat side. Now, hey, we'll see what happens with the Republicans moving forward. As of now, they have more people that relate to common Americans. But that ends up being the primary issue in my mind, is that when you're trying to have somebody who's trying to tell you, I know what your problems are, and I'm here to help you. The Democrats don't have enough of those people. I mean, outside of what, John Fetterman, who's wearing shorts and a pullover like I do, that's the one person where I'm like, you kind of get it.
Yeah, because when you sit here and say, I'm from a working class family, and you're talking to working class families, first of all, you're only saying that because you don't even believe it, right? That's why you have to always say it every single, I'm from a working class family. You're wearing a $50,000 necklace. I'm from a working class family. You're wealthy. You shouldn't want for more than you need. But you do. It just became so unrelatable to most. And I think a lot of that had to do with she's done this game. First Indian American to become the Attorney General. First black woman to do this. First this. It became unbelievable. Yeah, she's black. Yeah, she's Indian. Yeah, she chose to pick which one would get her into a better position, but it made her unbelievable with her own people that she thought, hey, they're going to run to me because I'm black, because I'm Indian, because I'm this. People didn't believe her. She was so phony, so fake. And then you get Tim Walz up there. Hi, I'm a football coach. Did you see the pick six I ran? I almost scored a field goals.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, you're not believable either.
It's not real.
But look, I got a flannel on. I'm
wearing the uniform. Why don't you believe me?
I mean, everything is a lie with them.
You know, it's a little thing, but I highly encourage you, go on to Twitter or anywhere else. Go on to Google. I want you to see if you can find an image of Donald Trump wearing jewelry. You can find it. Because the guy's a billionaire, and yet he ain't flashing anything at you.
He wears his wedding ring.
Again, it's a small thing, but yet these are the things that sort of matter. It's subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
If people oftentimes will wear things to remind you of their wealth, he's not doing that.
That's right. To rub it in your face.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, just to let you know, I'm successful, you're not.
Yeah, look at here.
Whatever it's going to be. But again, if you're not doing that on a regular basis, it tends to melt away.
If he came out in like the rappers when they come out with those like crazy expensive suits like Yves Saint Laurent, he doesn't do that. He comes out in a suit and everybody's like, he looks frumpy. Well, it works.
It's regular.
Yeah, frumpy. Yeah. And that's not a bad description. It's like, my suit fits better than his.
Yeah.
And he's a billionaire.
You know, it's funny. I think more because of how much climate change has been pushed. If it weren't for elitism, I think they could have sold the climate change thing.
Of course.
But they couldn't even be genuine. They were so elite about it. They would take their private jets here and there and everywhere.
Well, I get a carbon credit,
And then tell you don't need to drive your car because you're destroying the earth. They could have sold. I don't believe in man-made climate change. Do I believe the climate changes? Of course I do. It always has. But the elitism is what kept them from selling the thing that they wanted to sell.
They were telling you that you might not be able to take vacations. Meanwhile, the president was flying to the beach every week.
John Kerry back and forth to climate events, climate councils and discussions and meetings.
But he gets carbon credits, buddy.
Nobody knows what that means.
Nobody knows what that means. I said something about climate change, so now I can release methane in here through my mouth.
Absolutely. Nobody knows what it means because it was all elitism, and Americans despise that. Morning Extra on Extra 106.3 when we continue. The mainstream media is mad about their new fight. Next on Extra 106.3.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
The Atlanta Hawks lost last night to the red-hot Detroit Pistons, 104-114. Trae Young was shut down by Pistons point guard Cade Cunningham, only posting 13 points on 5 for 13 shooting with 5 turnovers. Cunningham, on the other hand, had 29 points and 11 assists. The Hawks couldn't buy a three-pointer, shooting 6 of 38 as a team, with DeAndre Hunter going 0 for 9. Atlanta will try again tonight at 7:30 against the Raptors in State Farm Arena. And after an incredible start to the season, the Georgia Bulldogs basketball team has lost its 3rd game in a row, this time coming to Arkansas, losing 65-68. For Extra 106.3 Sports, I'm Joe Virgin.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guests are Brian Whidbey and Christy Canner of the GBI Cold Case Division. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Being in an accident really bites. You need people around you that are going to make the whole process easier to deal with. I just described David Van Sant at Van Sant Law. He used to work for the insurance companies. What an advantage. He knows who to call, what to say, and they're not going to pull the wool over his eyes. Give him a call. Van Sant Law, 855 855-GA-INJURY. VanSantLaw.com. 855-GA-INJURY.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 3 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffers from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. We provide testosterone replacement therapy, the P-shot, and treatment for ED, PE, and Peyronie's disease. There's not just one therapy that can solve these complex issues. When you visit our clinic, you're going to see me. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. 404-777-1911. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. 404-777-1911. Online at tbtofga.com. Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth if they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
The Morning Extra has you covered until 10 a.m. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, and Buck Sexton at noon, and the Kimmer Show taking over at 3, only on Extra 106.3.
Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. We appreciate you being here. Very close to the weekend, thank God. Just right over the hump, right over the horizon. We're happy about that. Legacy media, the mainstream media, though, they're not happy at all. They've got a new fight on their hands.
This is so wonderful because the word from the legacy media as of yesterday was, well, when you take a look at what had gone on, there were 8 million fewer viewers when it came to the inauguration of Donald Trump than what happened in 2020 when it was Joe Biden. What the legacy media didn't tell you is that there were 70 million people that watched the inauguration on X.
Oh, you're streaming it on X.
Wasn't even close. It exploded. The number was double anything that happened with Joe Biden. No, of course not.
They would never bring up X because they don't want to promote Elon Musk. They don't want to give credit to something other than themselves.
70 million viewers on X alone to go with the 11 million that were on Fox. You know, we had Neil Bortz on who started talking about the numbers that were across all these mediums. And when you're saying 1 million on here, 3 million on CBS, 3 million on NBC, when you have 70 million, you're dwarfing things. You just can't compete. I mean, we're talking about a viewership that is basically 20 times what you're doing.
It's like NFL numbers versus numbers of people that watch The View.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
not even close.
They're not even
it's
in
just
the same
not even
ballpark.
close. And so I want you to take a listen to this. This is CNN. And CNN is trying to figure out, how do we turn this tide? And what I'm telling you, this isn't a cruise ship. It's not like it's going to take a little bit of a while. It's over with. It's done. You're not able to change the viewership numbers and how people are consuming media. Take a listen to how upset they are when it comes to how people are getting their information and how they're dead in the water.
What is it that breaks through all of this? You know what that is happening? Where and to that voter that I told you guys about, who likes Trump but is going to probably not benefit at all from his policies.
I think the hardest part of getting to that voter is not what we say, but reaching that voter.
Yeah.
I think part of it is volume. If you look at Donald Trump's inaugural day, he did 3 inauguration speeches. The real one, the overflow, the rally at night, then a press conference, right? It
was a reality show.
Yeah. And when you are playing a volume game, you need rep after rep after rep to make sure it gets clipped on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it gets shared on X. And the algorithms are killing us right now. Like Elon Musk is skewing everything towards the Republican Party, so we need to try even harder.
These algorithms.
That's all
The algorithms are based on your level of interest.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the interest level is not with you anymore.
I think the reality is that people are tired, and both sides, by the way. This, obviously there's some far right, or I don't even know what you call them, but Fox News to a lot of people, they think is a bunch of rhetoric. Even to me sometimes, I'm like, I can't watch this. But with CNN and everybody else, you just keep calling the same person a Nazi. Everybody knows they're not Nazis. They know these things, and they get boring. The reality is people now, I think, just want to see facts, real facts, so they can decipher them for themselves and find their own answers. And I think that is why social media is so exciting to people, because you're right there on your computer or your phone and you can see what is said, then you can look it up right away. With CNN, you sit there, you listen, and they're like, he's a Nazi, he's a rapist, he's a this, he's a that, he's a this. Okay, I want to know what this bill means. And they won't explain, they won't talk.
I spend more time with X than I ever do with Fox News or anything else, in part because I know what I'm going to get when I tune in to MSNBC. Like Morning Joe, I like it, in part because I know what I'm going to get, and I know I'm going to have my marching orders of what they're so upset about. Yeah. With Fox, it's going to be, okay, here's the rosy view of what is going on with Donald Trump. The reason I like X is because I'm getting both ends, and I'm getting the craziness of what they're trying to push. Do you recognize, and if not for Rhino, I never would, I probably would have paid more attention to this. So Rhino has been the biggest advocate for, here is the cap on insulin. And he told you how it went. Then he told you when Donald Trump ended up capping insulin, and then how the Biden administration got rid of that and then put it into a bill so they could take credit.
Right.
Do you recognize the amount of people that are on X that are like, insulin's going to $600?
$1,500.
Yeah, $1,500. Here's what's happening. And it only takes a handful of legitimate, smart, intelligent people to basically tell you it's capped by law. Yeah. Okay? Like it would not executive order.
Right.
Donald Trump can't change that. It was through law. And so when you point these things out to people, I'm only enjoying the fact that these are what the crazy people are talking about, so I know what their crazy talking points is. Yeah. That's why I like X, so I know what craziness they're spouting out.
Seeing the community notes on stuff like that, Rhino, is the greatest. Like,
it is the best.
That puts a smile on my face.
This is a 3-year battle that I've heard Rhino going through all of it, and I'm like, as soon as I read that, I'm like, well, that ain't right, and Rhino's been telling me this for years.
Exactly.
Yeah. And see, even when they said the algorithms are far right, here's what I get every single day. This is my for you. Please take a moment to listen to Bishop Marianne Boudet's powerful words, Katie Couric. Then I have, guys I don't even know. For the people to say DEI efforts have gone too far, it's hilarious when black people with college degrees still are 2 times likely to be unemployed than white people.
They're handing you both ends.
Yeah, I'm getting both ends. I get more stuff from Democrats, JoJo from Jersey, Mary Trump, Brian Krasenstein, Rick Taylor. Yeah, I don't even, sometimes I interact or write a funny thing about them, but most of them I don't even talk or ever go on these. So the algorithms are what they are. People will be able to see the truth through them and get through them. And the whole thing right now with the whole Nazi salute, people are like, come on. The reality is, if you're a secret Nazi like they want to make Elon Musk out to be, you know what a secret Nazi doesn't do? Go on the biggest stage in the world, by the way, being covered and give a salute. And people want to keep playing this game that this was a Nazi salute. This is all they have. CNN, all of them. You've created this. This is why no one wants to listen to you anymore.
And that actually reminds me, so one of the crazy leftists that follow me, last night doing the whole well, aren't you concerned about Elon Musk doing this? And I said, no. In fact, I don't care. And if you want me to care, I'll take it under advisement. Duly noted.
I'll potentially care.
I was like, duly noted. Don't care. You know what I care about? Right now on my screen, 5 minutes ago, is Josie, the redheaded libertarian, letting you know that January 23rd is, in fact, National Pie Day.
Yeah.
She's going to be making pies. You know what sounds hot?
How you doing?
Josie making pies.
How you doing?
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what I'm into.
Such a pretty lady.
She's so pretty.
She is such a doll. But that's the thing, and in anybody.
But what about a Nazi salute? Don't care.
What are you talking about?
Duly noted. Take it under advisement.
We don't have time to play it now, but did you see the video that the Tesla engineer did breaking down what a Nazi salute actually is versus what Elon Musk did?
Yeah.
So much fun. So funny. We'll see if we can't work it into some point of the show. Otherwise, we'll share
just
it.
Silly.
At Tug Coward across the social media platforms where you can find me. All right, when we come back on Extra 106.3, the front runner in Georgia's governor's race and the thing that separates him from anybody else. Next, after Neil Bortz and a Fox News update, this is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
I rather like the idea that Trump has declared war, so to speak, on the drug cartels in Mexico. There's another drug, I'll use the word cartel, that is active in America now legally. They call it Big Pharma. And yes, I'm on this tear again about prescription drug advertisements on TV. I keep a list. I've got over 50 prescription drugs advertised on TV right now. I've probably missed a few. And every one of these advertisements has the same theme. Take this drug and your life will be blue skies and green lights, roses, everything sweet, happy. Let's see. You'll be indoor skydiving. You'll be walking flowery trails in the mountains with your best friends. You'll be walking aimlessly through the streets of your town with complete strangers. You'll be dancing and singing about the benefits of your drugs, and all this does is send that message. Take this drug, your life will be better. Now, all of the kids that are watching these ads, are they smart enough to figure out that maybe this isn't true? When you take a drug, maybe you get addicted, maybe your life gets destroyed, maybe you die. Gee, if that drug can make me go indoor skydiving or have wonderful days on the beach, I wonder what fentanyl can do for me. The solution? Simple. Allow them to advertise. Say what the drug is, what it does, what the side effects are, and that's it. No portrayals of people leading blissful, happy lives. That's not the reality. Only two nations allow this, the U.S. and New Zealand. We got this one wrong. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Attention Warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Extra 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
Its technology is not just intelligent, it's thoughtful. Its cabin is not just spacious, but sensuous and stylish. It's indulgent yet versatile. And its electrified performance can energize you with every drive. Get an exceptional offer on the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 SUV. Just $519 per month for 39 months with $48.33 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details and see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through January 31st, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts, it's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
The Kimmer Show is only on Xtra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
Well, Rebecca, hi. Welcome aboard. What's going on?
You know what? First of all, I'm so excited you're back on the air because you make me happy.
Well,
you make me laugh.
Well, I'm not sure that sounds like me half the time, but you're very sweet. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Defending his pardons, questioning the ones by his predecessor. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tells Fox's Hannity the pardons and commutations he gave about 1,500 January 6 defendants convicted over the Capitol riot were deserved.
They were treated like the worst criminals in history. And you know what they were there for? They were protesting the vote because they knew the election was rigged.
Now, Democrats and some police officers wounded during the riot are critical of the January 6th clemency. President Trump also critical of the preemptive pardons President Biden gave his brothers and sister and other family members before leaving office, telling Fox people thought he might do that 4 years ago.
They said, sir, would you like to pardon everybody, including yourself? I said, I'm not going to pardon anybody. We didn't do anything wrong.
Now, Congress has investigated Biden family overseas business dealings. The president also told Fox he's planning to battle Democrats in sanctuary cities and planning to resist his plan for mass deportation of illegal immigrants.
This was a gross miscarriage of common sense to allow people to come in.
Now, another Trump priority, ending work from home for federal workers. And Fox's Brooke Singman reports.
The U.S. Office of Personnel Management last night issued a memo writing the only way to get employees back to the office is to adopt a centralized policy requiring return to work. Agencies must now revise their telework policy and tell workers of a return to in-person work by 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Some exceptions there include disability and qualifying medical conditions.
President Trump also tells Fox he wants to reform FEMA, so states handle disaster response with federal financial aid.
If they have a tornado someplace and if they let that state, Oklahoma is very competent. I love Oklahoma.
Tomorrow, President Trump will go to areas of North Carolina devastated last year by hurricane flooding and then travel to the Los Angeles area where 2 new wildfires burned after others torched thousands of homes and buildings. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry. Terry! Terry! Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
You voted big government out and efficient government in. Now it's time to trim the fat from big wireless. Pure Talk gives you the exact same service on the exact same towers with better customer service, all for half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Pure Talk to save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
Want weather? Grab your phone. Need traffic? Grab your phone. Conservative news and talk, also on your phone. Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra until 10. Glad that you're here. 404-741-1230 is the number if you are compelled to reach out. Tell us what's on your mind. Respond to the things that we're talking about. You are the media. Elon Musk has made that clear. X, formerly known as Twitter, has made that clear. So use your media credentials on the show this morning. Love to hear from you at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. So we're to the point where people are declaring for jobs in the government. They're launching their election bids, like Chris Carr here in town. He's the probably the front runner when it comes to the next governor of the state of Georgia. And I know it seems like, well, didn't we just end the election? I mean, why we were starting back? I mean, good Lord, we're starting already. It really never ends. The election cycles really don't have an ending spot anymore. You got Vivek Ramaswamy, who's going to be running for Ohio governor. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. There was more to that whole Doge thing with him exiting as quickly as he did. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Chris Carr is a guy that's been on this show many times, a Georgia grad, a guy that loves the state of Georgia and is ready to take the helm of the state. And the money thing is what separates him, Rhino.
Yeah, the reality of what politics have become is a money game. The more money you have in their minds, the better chance you have at winning. Unfortunately, for people like Stacey Abrams, it doesn't always work out that way.
Kamala Harris, too.
Yeah, but in reality, yes, you want to have as many ads out there, especially in a tough primary. And that's where Chris Carr has done the work, raising nearly $2.2 million between mid-November and the start of this legislative session, which happened on Jan 10. The money that's come in, he can use for his primary campaign. This has created a divide here in Georgia. Are you a Burt Jones or are you a Chris Carr? And that's where this is going to go. Now, Burt Jones, he has plenty of money that he can raise and he will raise. Plus, he's got a lot of friends, with Trump down.
Including Donald Trump.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. So you kind of set up the establishment Republican in Carr, people might say, or the traditional Republican might be a better way to say that, versus the Make America Great Again Republican in Burt Jones. He knows he's going to need money to beat Burt Jones, though.
Well, I got the countdown. I talk about 1,384 days until your next presidential election. But the reality of the situation is that you run in 2-year spurts. So if you're going to be serious about winning the next election, like J.D. Vance is going to be running in the better part of 2 years. That's it. That's what it's going to come down to. When we talked about, Vivek Ramaswamy, and we'll get into a little bit more of that stuff. It takes 2 years to run this. The reason why Chris Carr is in such an advantageous position is because he's looking at it as, in 2 years, that's my spot. No, by the way, the current governor is going to be running to go get Ossoff's spot in 2 years. I mean, it's a 2-year cycle.
It is, but it just seems like it doesn't seem like it's that long. You know what I mean?
Right.
It flies. It just totally flies.
So fast. And it never ends. Like, I don't remember this as a young man. Politics being 24/7, 365. I don't remember. I just don't remember. It seemed like, elections happened every 2 years, and 2 years seemed like an adequate amount of time not to have this fatigue, because there is, I feel like, a little bit of fatigue. People are like, the last thing I want to talk about right now is politics.
But that's why we talk about Donald Trump. He has 2 years. 2 years, and then more than likely you lose the House and the cycle begins again.
Yeah, and then that's why these 2 years are more about behind the scenes stuff. You're setting up and making sure that the PACs, and you're doing campaign financing, you're setting up headquarters, you're finding campaign spokespeople, you're finding campaign managers, you're going through the whole thing, and there's so many good ones here in the state of Georgia. Same thing with Burt Jones. He's doing the same exact thing. You need those 2 years to build that. Now, a year from now is when everybody's going to start paying attention, and you might start running some of those ads, but you want to get your name out there, especially in this state when They don't even have a Democrat running yet. No one knows who the Democrat will be, but you do have people like Brad Raffensperger, who said he wanted to run for either a Senate seat or maybe even the governor's position. You obviously have Burt Jones and Chris Carr doing that as well. So you want to kind of set out and be like, hey, that's the first name I heard, Chris Carr. I like Chris Carr. Chris Carr has done a lot of things. And you want that to register for the next 2 years so that when the ads do hit, you remember that's the guy that you thought about 2 years ago. But there's going to be a lot of money in this one.
As familiar as you are with Chris Carr, because you listen to the show and he's been on many times, and you keep up with politics, you keep up with Georgia, you keep up with the nation, most people don't know him in the state of Georgia. They don't. Burt Jones, same way. You know them because you listen to the show and he's been on many times. You keep up with everything. You're the 1%, as Los calls the audience of this show. But the majority of Georgians don't know who either one of those dudes are, and money will be the equalizer to introduce them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Brian Kemp. It'll be interesting to see how he kind of plays this, because he's got his lieutenant governor in Burt Jones, and I don't think they see eye to eye on everything.
No, they
we
do
know
not.
that they didn't, especially in 2020. We know what happened with Brian Kemp and Donald Trump, so we know that he's probably leaning, and he likes Chris Carr. I know for a fact he loves Chris Carr. So you see, okay, that's where. But during a primary season, I don't think Kemp needs to get involved in that. Now, after that, I'm sure, because Kemp now was voted in as part of the Georgia, as the Georgia representative, part of the Governors Association. He was voted to head that. That's a big campaign financing tool.
And he was at the inauguration.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think he knows where he needs to be. I think he's a strong Republican. He might not have all the same ideas I do, you do, or Carlos does, but he has enough conservative values to win this thing every single time.
Caitlin Collins tried to corner him up too, Los. Did you see that? Where she was trying to ask him about pardons and are you going to pardon the January? And Kemp played it smart. He's like, he's not done anything yet. I'll answer when he does something. Let's get to that point.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see, because I don't think that dynamic is as, I don't want to say real, but that for lack of a better term, I'll use real. I don't think their relationship is as real as it is being presented. I think they know they have to work together, meaning Kemp and Trump.
We're in a situation where everyone is looking for the gotcha moment. Like, what can I do? Over the next 2 years, if you're a Republican, especially for somebody who's looking to run for office, or you're somebody who's already in office, just avoid the gotcha moment.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, you're in a strong, advantageous point. You have the wind at your back. You have a scenario where the country considers the left to be the weirdos. They continue to be polling at an incredibly light level in terms of 33% of the country believe that they're doing the right thing. All you have to do is make sure you avoid the gotcha moment. And every single one of these people that are running for office are going to be in a strong position.
What they're trying to do is say, hey, this is a extremist Trump supporter compared to somebody like Carr, who says, I support Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, his record and everything else, but I'm not that diehard loyalist, where Burt Jones will get painted as, that's Trump's guy, that's his foot soldier, that's his. So
Might
any
be a
kind
good
of
thing
media
right now.
Yeah, and any media member is going to try to bring Chris Carr into that. Well, we know deep down inside, though, you're probably a real big loyalist to Trump, aren't you? That's the weird part.
Well, there's only one aspect of this entire race that I think kind of jumps out to the 1%, not to everybody, to the 1% that pays attention to it. If Georgia politics is as dirty as it appears,
and it appears to be filthy,
then who's covered in the mud? That's the only aspect where if you want to put yourself in a different scenario than your opponent, you make them out to be, that dude's Georgia politics and I'm not. And whichever one does it to the 1% is going to matter. But as you start off this thing, Rhino, when you got the money, you can tell the story. You tell whatever story you want.
Yeah, and that's going to be important for Chris Carr because, a lot of the listeners, a lot of the people who consider themselves Trump supporters and have for 4 years, not all of them like Chris Carr. Not all of them like Brian Kemp. We've heard the backlash from them.
People call in and tell us all the time.
You got to win them back over. Because Burt Jones has them. Now, the establishment Republicans, Burt Jones can't get, might not be able to get. He has to win them over. So that's why money's so important. You got to start really targeting which audience you want, realize who's making waves and who's going to vote, and make sure you target those people.
Told you yesterday I thought there was something going on with Vivek Ramaswamy and the fact that he left so abruptly from Doge. And where there's smoke, there's fire, typically. Politico is reporting that Vivek and Elon butted heads over this whole Doge project, and the final straw was when Vivek started talking about visas and American culture being not good. And, we shouldn't be celebrating the football captain or the cheerleader, the homecoming queen. They diplomatically pushed him out the door. Vivek rubbed a lot of folks the wrong way, something that Rhino's talked about before. The Kings have brought that up. They did on inauguration when they were here, that Vivek rubbed them the wrong way. And does he need to be ready to run for governor? I mean, yes, we just talked about Chris Carr. He's 2 years out, launching his campaign. So, yes, there's a reason. Is that the reason he left Doge? I don't believe so. And now we have reporting evidence of that. Because this past Sunday, Trump even mentioned Vivek along with Elon Musk when he talked about Doge. Yep. And now the dude's gone. He's like Sunday he was in, now he's gone.
Yeah.
That's why there was something more to it.
I still look, Politico and their unnamed sources. Sorry, I don't believe a word Politico says. I didn't believe anything about him being a Nazi or any of the other things, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. The reality of why it could be, like you said, there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy is somebody who's strong, and whenever you have two big business leaders with a lot of money, they butt heads no matter what. So there may be some of that, but before this and before Trump and before all this kind of came to be, they had already talked to Vivek about going to Ohio, and from people I talked to in Vivek's campaign, they even said he can't do both, because if he was already connected to Doge, he would not be able to go ahead and run for governor, and we thought this was very important that he got to be able to run for governor, so he had to give up one of the two, and I think that's probably more of it, but I do believe that two people like that, you never see eye to eye.
Right, I get that part.
Well, let's also keep in mind, when it comes to the future of what is going on with this movement, and it is a movement, it's how it's going to be. Elon Musk does have a ceiling because he's South African.
South African, yeah.
He is a citizen of the United States, but he's South African born. You do have the scenario where you have a variety of people and they all have that ceiling involved. Okay, what position can they get to where they'll be able to wield enough power? And I think that's part of what Ramaswamy's looking at, where he's like, if you're in Doge and you're making suggestions to Congress, again, valuable. But what if you're running a state? What if you happen to be a senator?
Oh, that's true.
And it's only a 2-year position at this point.
It's only a 2-year position. And so there's a lot of this where I think these guys have been bitten by the bug.
Yeah.
They like what's going on, and now it's a matter of how do I ascertain more power moving forward to keep this movement moving forward.
Yeah. You just the thing that I see, and that's so obvious and so clear, is you're writing legislation, executive orders on Sunday, but by Tuesday you ain't. That's something that happened. I mean, that's just the way it works.
That doesn't mean he's not.
Life.
He wrote the executive orders and they were done, the ones that they asked him to do. It doesn't mean he's done doing that, but now he's going to focus on that race. But I think Carlos brings up a really good point here, too, because Vivek Ramaswamy, whether you want to give Barron or anybody else, Vivek Ramaswamy early in this brought that youth movement to Donald Trump, and he brought that young, and they realized that this is the next generation. Yeah. Him, J.D. Vance, Ron DeSantis, all these guys who can bring in a younger audience, 40, and I'm talking like young for us, 45 and under, right?
No, that's right.
But the reality is we need to go ahead and establish a record for a guy like Vivek. We need to get him kind of polished up and ready to go, and this is the best position for him. Doge is a 2-year deal. He did what they wanted him to do. He wrote the executive orders that would help with that. That's what he was needed for. Now you let Elon Musk kind of... Look, I love Vivek. I think he's going to be a great governor if he can win this. I think he can win it. I think he's a very strong man. But he does have to kind of, I don't know, maybe chill out does he have an ego?
Absolutely. I think he's got
they all have gigantic egos.
Yeah. Which is
but
why
some of them have gigantic ones that, are like show out. And then some Vivek confused me because Vivek was like, he's cool, he's young, he's different, he's anti-establishment, and he still is. True. And then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but he does have an ego. Like, he can do this better than all of you, and he thinks he's smarter than you.
Yeah, he'll tell you. I think he would tell you.
What do you think I do around this entire building?
Yeah, he will tell you.
I mean, we had the owner of this company when I was saying, hey, on Monday or Tuesday, why don't we have a plan for snow coming? And he calls into the radio station to be like, well, thank Carlos for helping us get organized on this. Yeah. Yes, because I walk around this building going, I'm the smartest dude here.
Yeah.
You don't think Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and Donald Trump and all these dudes are doing the same thing all the time?
Yeah. All the time, which is where the rub comes.
I love that.
That's where the rub came from.
I'm just saying, it's a microcosm.
Yeah, but Carlos, that's like shooting fish in a barrel in this place.
It's like
I'm the smartest one here. Well, look around.
I just get it. Yeah. Like, this is what happens. You get into a position and you think to yourself, everyone's lost but me.
Yeah. It's fair.
That's fine.
I get it.
That's what that is.
And Vivek is like, I'm here to fix it. But if you won't let me fix it, I got to go somewhere to fix it.
Right.
Elon thinks the same thing. Donald Trump thinks the same thing. This is what happens.
That's where the rub came from.
And
It's almost like a slap on it.
Yeah,
like they slapped him down. Like he's the kid.
I don't want anybody to think that I think that they hate each other.
No.
They just weren't compatible in those roles together. But they're both going to do good things.
But consider what happens when you hit a wall and you say, they're not going to pay attention to me when I'm telling them, here's how we fix this. What is my next avenue? That's all.
Yeah.
It's
to be able
what
to write
happens.
the legislation and do it yourself.
I believe that. I believe all that.
To this day, we can still talk about Steve Jobs leaving Apple and going, well, they weren't paying attention to me. Yeah. And then when they needed to, they brought him on back, and now they paid attention. It's just, it's what happens when powerful, creative people who think they have their own ideas in order to fix things, when they hit a wall, they do something different.
That's right.
That's all.
That's right. And are not afraid to speak their mind, and that causes rubs sometimes, and both will do exceptional things. It's clear that they couldn't work together, and that's why he's gone. That's why he's focusing on running for governor now. Could he have done both? Absolutely. He's well at multitasking. That's what people in powerful positions do. That's what CEOs do of companies. They multitask all the time. Donald Trump is multitasking. He's got all kinds of issues that he's dealing with. It's okay. Things are okay. It's fine that they are not compatible. It's fine that they don't work together. Both are going to do great things.
It was on that Monday. I was like, it's going to snow on Friday. We should plan.
Yeah, that's right. Genius. We're surrounded by genius is what it is. When we come back on Extra 106.3.
Here I am, just toiling away.
Yeah.
Company man trying to do good things for the company.
I'm just trying to help.
See, Tug and I are like, we're just not going to be here.
Yeah, right.
And Carlos was like, we should plan for that. We're like,
need to plan on what's going to happen.
Our plan is not to be here.
I'm going to take a nap. That's what I'm going to do.
No matter what they say.
The snow come down. So what is going to happen in Ukraine? This is something Donald Trump's got to figure out. And he did say I would end it in 24 hours. Was that hyperbole? Yes. But he does need to figure it out, and he may have a plan. Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, 8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Hey, it's Flounder, and The Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
It's I tweeted, I'd rather not entrust space travel to a guy who does a Nazi salute. To which EB responded by tweeting a pic of NASA rocket scientist Werner von Braun standing in front of models of his Saturn rockets with the caption, boy, do I have news for you.
An actual Nazi.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Good morning. Hey, it's Los. Let's talk about Howard Brothers and Kawasaki. Maybe you too want to be forward-looking. You want to plan. You want to be ahead of the curve. Well, the beginning of the year means that you have a chance to start planning for spring. I know, it's cold, okay? It's really cold outside. But spring's going to be here before you know it. And here's the opportunity with Howard Brothers and Kawasaki to start getting ready for it. If you are a lawn care professional, you know that here's the opportunity to get everything working with your equipment with genuine Kawasaki parts. If you're just a regular homeowner, not you, Joe, you don't have to worry about mowing the grass. But for me, I got to mow the grass. Well, I want to make sure that I have the best equipment possible. When it comes to maintaining your equipment, getting ready for that busy season, head on over to Howard Brothers. You get the Kawasaki parts that keeps your engine running stronger and longer. Stop by Howard Brothers today for the Kawasaki parts you need to get the job done right. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Kawasaki and with Howard Brothers.
You're setting a lot of goals for 2025. Big plans, new adventures, and Subaru of Gwinnett has the vehicles to get you there. The 2025 Subaru Forester is the same reliable SUV that earned the trust of drivers for decades, but with more adventurous style and more advanced safety technology. And you'll love exploring in the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek. It gives you up to 34 miles per gallon and the power of a 182 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine, adding plenty of go to your adventures. The 2025 Subaru Outback shares your adventurous spirit. With up to 32 miles per gallon and 9.5 inches of ground clearance, you can explore your world with confidence. And the 2025 Subaru Legacy is what happens when we put the best of Subaru into a sedan. The turbocharged 260 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine makes driving a thrill. Plus, every Subaru model comes equipped with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love is out there. Find it at Subaru Gwinnett, Satellite Boulevard in Duluth, or shop online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Neil Borch here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPsETC.com.
Are you concerned about securing your family's future and assets? Look no further than Nelson Elder Care Law. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we offer absolute assurance and peace of mind through our comprehensive asset protection services. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com to explore how we can safeguard your legacy and provide tailored solutions for your family's well-being.
You may know that ATL Turf Co. has become a leader in artificial grass design and installation services, but you may not know that ATL Turf Co. is a large artificial grass distributor. We only sell U.S.-made, premium name brand turf at factory direct pricing below wholesale. And now we're open to the public with large inventories of lawn and landscape, putting green, athletic, and pet turf on sale. Plus, all remnants are on sale for only $1 per square foot, direct from Dalton to our warehouse in Kennesaw. Visit atlturfco.com to learn more. atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. U.S. District Judge William Ray has rejected a proposal by Cobb County to allocate $750,000 in taxpayer funds to be distributed among black firefighting candidates. The federal government had previously determined that the county needed to address racial bias in its firefighting hiring practices and increase the number of black firefighters. The proposal, developed jointly by the county and federal government, was intended to resolve these issues. However, Judge Ray ruled against it, stating the court notes that the relief proposed is intentional discrimination based on race, where only those claimants who are African American are entitled to relief. Cobb County maintains that any alleged discrimination in its hiring practices was completely unintentional. The Laken Riley Act has cleared its final hurdle, passing the House of Representatives yesterday after being sent back from the Senate. The bill now heads to President Donald Trump's desk for his signature to become law. Introduced by Georgia Representative and friend of the show, Mike Collins, the legislation grants federal immigration agencies broader authority to detain undocumented immigrants accused of crimes. The bill passed the House by a vote of 263 to 156, with Georgia Democrats Sanford Bishop and Lucy McBath voting in favor along with the Republicans. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Xtra 1063.
8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. They are doing their 28th annual Winter White Sale. Save you $2,000 off Carrier products. You can reach out to them at 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com. The best in the business, working with the best in the business. Central Heating and Air Conditioning. We're going to get to something that needs to be discussed, and that is, how does Trump bring an end to the war in Ukraine? And I'm thinking maybe he's got an idea on how to do it. However, first, I just heard something that stopped me in my tracks.
Uh-oh.
something that I never expected to hear. I mean, never expected to hear front office Los say.
Oh, yeah, no, it happened.
Is it official? Is it official that, or you got to wait for a hire to happen before? Front office Los is the biggest Cowboys fan I know.
Oh.
He has been a fan his whole life, and he told me that if they make this one move, he is suspending his fandom.
Oh.
Do you remember when Brian Schottenheimer was brought into the University of Georgia?
Yes.
And I said, this guy's a total loser. Everywhere he goes, nothing works out. And then the head coach always gets fired. Mark Richt got fired because he hired Brian Schottenheimer as the OC because nothing worked.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the Cowboys are on a second interview, and they're going to probably hire Schottenheimer.
Ooh.
And all I'm pointing out, and this is not getting ahead of things, if they do, I'm done.
Like, how done? Like, are you gonna
I build Sundays around watching the team no matter what.
Okay, so
and I will go about watching other games, and we'll just be like, listen, I'm not paying attention to you.
We've known Carlos over a decade now.
Yeah.
This is the most shocking news.
I'm telling you. When he told me, I was like,
Carlos yells at us for not watching.
Yeah.
Brian
football in our
Schottenheimer is a loser.
Yes,
and
he
it doesn't
is.
matter where he goes, nothing works out. And yet, because he has the Schottenheimer name, he's a Nepo baby. Mm-hmm. They all look at it as, well, maybe he's got some of his family's skills.
We can get the best out of him.
He doesn't. Okay, he's not good at what he does.
He's Hunter Biden.
Yeah. I get this. As a Jets fan, I sit back and I look at the front office and what they do, and I'm like, okay, so you went and got Brett Favre way past his prime and decided this is going to be the answer, and it didn't work. It was a complete disaster. So then what do? You go, I know, let's go to Green Bay and get the other old guy that, can't do it anymore and bring in Aaron Rodgers. And, this has been going on for so long as a Jets fan. I actually burned all my stuff. Carlos, I don't suggest you burn everything, but there are certain things there should be some kind of protest that you do, but I wouldn't suggest burning all your things because there are some sneakers I miss.
Not going to burn anything. I will point out that Schottenheimer, and you know this, was the Jets OC from 06 to 11, where they, now again,
the worst,
had success, couldn't score.
That's when I burned all my stuff.
And he was the OC.
Everywhere they go,
he's garbage.
He does not put together offenses that score.
We've all been stung by this man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. You know this too.
1 year, 2015 at Georgia. Kirby Smart is at the University of Georgia because Schottenheimer was there as the OC in 2015, and he got Richt fired.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
for sure.
Now Los is doing what what real fans do. Plant your flag in the ground, be like, I will. That's a line too far.
Yep. 2021, he was the Jacksonville Jaguars passing game coordinator. You know what they were ranked in passing yards?
There's been some research done this morning.
32nd. That's dead last in the league.
You need to send all this to, I want a recording of this sent to Jerry Jones.
He was the OC in Dallas. You know what he didn't do in Dallas? Call plays.
So let's say they move on and hire, and you go into your protest. You plant your flag.
Yes, I get my Sundays back.
No, you just don't have the focus of the Cowboys. You'll be watching other games.
I'll watch other stuff.
Yeah, you're right. So what is the thing that would
Schottenheimer done?
Be firing him, or do you still, because Jerry Jones is such a bad owner, by making this hire?
No, I'll wait until Jerry's dead.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's not just Schottenheimer getting fired. Jerry Jones has to pass before you come back.
Keep in mind, his mama lived till 100. Yeah. So I got 30 more years.
So you're looking for the full. He's looking for the full overhaul. You want this team to actually get. I am with the Jets. I want Woody Johnson to go away.
I just want a legitimate. Again, Mike McCarthy, great coach.
Yeah.
You can go through his coaching record, and there is something to be said. You're given 5 years, you were successful, but you didn't get to that next level that you want. So, okay, I get it. Time to move on. That coaches 5 years in the league, that's a lot. You don't step backwards at coach. Mm-mm. You don't go with the Nepo baby.
Or run backwards. Not even step. Run.
You saw it in 2015.
Yes, I
Mark
did.
Richt was a saint at the University of Georgia. And Schottenheimer was so bad that they ran him and Mark Richt out, even though he was a saint.
That's right. And have welcomed him back since. But it took, it took several years for them to get over that because it was, dude, I remember, and I was ready for Kirby. As a Georgia fan, I was ready because I knew Kirby wanted to be there, and I felt strongly that he was going to be successful, but I didn't even care for the way that they ran out Mark Richt.
I believe that if Mark Richt, and he would never do this, ever, we've all had interaction with him, great dude, great man. Mm-hmm. I think if you got him in the cone of silence, in the room of truth, he'd be like, hiring Schottenheimer cost you my job.
Do you think he would tell it? Do you think he would, would give you level to that? Maybe.
Well, there you go.
If you have to speak the truth, in your heart of hearts, would that be the reason? Possibly. But front office Los
I might be getting my Sundays back.
He may suspend his Cowboys fandom. Not just until if they hire Schottenheimer, but not just until they fire him, which they will, but until Jerry Jones is 6 feet under. That's a statement.
Let me just tell you. In and this goes back, 2014, Georgia was averaging 41 points per game. Schottenheimer rolled in and they averaged 26.
Well, that's a step backwards. That's terrible news. Yeah, that was a tough time, boy. That year gave me some indigestion, I ain't gonna lie. There was plenty of taking Tums of that during that year. All right, well, we'll just have to see how it goes. Now, as far as being, as I don't watch the NFL, hadn't in 5, 6 years, 4 or 5 years now, whatever it is, and maybe one day when they get rid of all the bull crap that they still do, all the stupid social justice bull crap that they do, maybe I'll return one day because I've got some nice Falcons polos I'd like to wear one day.
You're going to step right into the situation he's in. Terrible hires, horrible team, don't know how to you talent.
That was good.
Welcome to the Jets, Falcons, and Cowboy bandwagon.
Because we have the worst ownership ever.
Have hired Bill Belichick, but there were enough people in the building that are like, Bill's going to take over and I'll get fired. Oops.
Yeah.
And so you went with
a DEI hire.
Clown stuff.
Goodness gracious. Maybe one day. Who knows? Maybe one day. This is the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. Donald Trump said, 24 hours, I will end the war in Iraq or in Ukraine. In 24 hours, Russia will be out of there. Of course, that was hyperbole. Maybe there's plans in the making because he's sending some pretty strong messages, Rhino.
Yeah, and I talked about this before the election. Nobody sit here because the left is going to pull up the 24-hour thing. I think it was silly that he even talked about that because you can't just end this in 24 hours. It's going to take a lot of time. But you still have to have the right plan. And I had talked about it then. The one thing you can't do is just go, hey, there's a bunch of oligarchs and I'm going to take away their yachts. Yeah, no, you need to give real sanctions. And some of those sanctions that he needs to put on are anybody who does business with Russia doesn't do business with the U.S. So what did he do yesterday? Came out exactly what I said. Anybody who does business with Russia, you will not do business with the U.S. And not only that, we are going to make sure that Russia realizes that these sanctions are strong. You're also going to face huge tariffs and high levels of taxes on any of the products you try to bring in. This is the way you get Putin to listen.
Let's say the war was to end today. What's the big difference between 24 and 96 hours?
Zero. Nothing.
Or 24 and 3 months.
Let's say that it ends next week. What's the difference between 24 hours and 7 days? Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all within the realm of possibility. And the only reason why the left is grasping at this, it's because they don't have anything else to grasp onto.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he didn't end it in 24 hours.
Yeah.
All right, well, guess what? That was a campaign slogan, and he won, and not by a little bit. Yeah. So guess what? Guess what was effective? Him saying he ended 24 hours.
I love what he said, though. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is always better.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true. Let's just do it the easy way. Let's work through this. Let's come to an agreement, the art of the deal style. But he's got both ways set up, right? Putin can choose. You can do it the hard way, which I'm willing to do.
Yeah.
Or you can do it the easy way, and I'm willing to do that too. That's what a negotiator does.
Yeah, and that's where this is going to be stronger than anything else. And again, I think Donald Trump is being smart by saying, hey, the left, the children, push them to the side. Don't listen to the 24-hour thing. Don't listen to this. We're going to get things accomplished. We don't need these kids in the room right now. Push the left to the side. Things are going to get done because of strength. And what Donald Trump is going to do and what he needs to do is deal with both sides of this. Zelensky and Trump both realize that Zelensky wants a peace deal. The other thing that Trump realizes is, and we've talked about this before, especially with China, once you start taking away the ability of Vladimir Putin controlling people because now they're starving because sanctions are on. Now they can't export, make money, do any of the things that they need to do because of tougher tariffs, taxes, and sanctions. Then they start to turn on Putin. Putin can't resist having power. He will do whatever he can to get to that table and make sure that he's able to make the people happy enough to be under government control again.
Well, you're at a position, considering the amount of people, and Donald Trump had brought it up, you have between 600 and 700,000 Ukrainian men dead. They believe that the Russian estimates are somewhere near 800,000. All right, the Russians can continue to lose another 800,000 on 800,000
and are willing
800,000, and they're more than willing to. As the old saying goes, you will run out of bullets before they run out of Russians. That's how that goes. But you're in a position now where both sides have to walk away being able to save some face. And so what is that particular agreement where both sides can walk away and say, I got some land, I got this out of it, you're going to keep NATO out of here? What is it that makes it to where both men can say, all right, a halt to arms, we both walk away and we're both saving face?
And Zelensky's even saying that I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm glad to see it because, it was a few months back. He was like, well, Trump can't end this. He's not that powerful. And now he's like, well, I'm hopeful he can.
Yeah.
Because he knows Zelensky knows they're in bad shape.
They're running out of men.
Yes.
Yeah. This is what Zelensky said yesterday. Trump is a businessman. He knows how to apply pressure. So that's not hyperbole. He's talking the truth. He knows that the only one that's going to be able to handle this is Donald Trump. And yeah, everybody wants an end to this, and Zelensky does as well. But Carlos is right. They need to make sure that they don't join NATO because that's going to be the important part for Putin. He doesn't want to feel like he's surrounded by NATO countries that can attack him at any time. It's up here in his head, okay? This is a ridiculous thought in his head, but that's what's going to take. But if that becomes the case, then you have to work with Ukraine saying, okay, then Russia, you got to give us a deal on natural gas, bringing that over, making sure the pipelines are taken care of. We got to work together. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. But you can't be like Zelensky and ask for 100,000 troops from Europe and the West either.
What's going to be the number? Do you promise Putin that you will not consider Ukraine as a NATO country for 50 years? Like, you've got to hit a certain number. And again, he'll be dead and buried by the time you get to the end of that thing. And it might not be enforceable. But you have to give this person some assurances in order to stop hostilities.
How about America comes out of NATO? I'm in favor of that. See if we can get that done.
We fund quite a bit of it.
That's my favorite.
That's my stance.
NATO essentially is ours.
Let Ukraine jump in, we'll jump out. That's what I would like to see happen. Goodness. Just because we're funding it all. The Germans are decreasing the size of the military right now because they know that the United States will bear the brunt of anything that happens. That the United States will be the ones to rush in if
they've all said it out loud too.
Yeah, if there was some sort of attack on Europe, which I can't imagine other than terrorist attacks that would happen from Russia or Ukraine for that matter. Anyway. When we continue on Extra 106.3, the January 6th committee thought it was ending Trump. Boy, were they wrong. Next on the Morning Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
The Atlanta Hawks lost last night to the red-hot Detroit Pistons, 104-114. Trae Young was shut down by Pistons point guard Cade Cunningham, only posting 13 points on 5 for 13 shooting with 5 turnovers. Cunningham, on the other hand, had 29 points and 11 assists. The Hawks couldn't buy a three-pointer, shooting 6 of 38 as a team, with DeAndre Hunter going 0 for 9. Atlanta will try again tonight at 7:30 against the Raptors in State Farm Arena. And after an incredible start to the season, the Georgia Bulldogs basketball team has lost its 3rd game in a row, this time coming to Arkansas, losing 65-68. For Extra 106.3 Sports, I'm Joe Virgin.
All right, handgun care and maintenance, intro to water filtration, mutual assistant groups, prepper groups, how to Intro to Emergency Preparedness, Long-Term Food Storage, Freeze-Dried Food, Mylar Demo, Intro to Water Filtration and Storage. These are all things that you can learn because these are things that are important to you, your family, and the ability to survive any kind of an emergency, even a winter emergency that shuts down the South, a fire, even something like an overturned train that might contaminate water supply. Are you prepared for any of those? Do you know where to start? True Prep, Marietta, Cobb Parkway, your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies. Matt and Joey, both Georgia Tech engineers, along with Amy and the entire staff at True Prep, are true professionals. They actually know everything about every product in there. I go in there all the time. I'm like, hey, Amy, what does this really do? I guarantee she doesn't know it. And then she's like, oh, here, let me show you how to use this. This is your one-stop shop, and this is the only place that you can go locally owned and operated that you can get everything you need in order to protect you and your family. True Prep, Marietta, Cobb Parkway. Go check out their amazing showroom. Freeze-dried food, water filtration, first aid kits. And I'm talking about EMT grade first aid kits, not the ones that you find in a box store. Also, firearms, AR-15s, firearm accessories, ammo, all at the lowest prices around. You got to go check it out. Everything they have. It's like a huge toy store for both men and women. There's so many great things that both myself and my beautiful girlfriend, Erin, want every time we walk in there. The other thing, all those classes I told you about, you can find online on their website, and you can find more information about True Prep on the website as well at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with my friends over at True Prep.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Looking for a smarter way to drive? The 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV is here to take you electric in 2025.
Right now at Jim Ellis Chevrolet, save $6,000 off MSRP on the all-electric Equinox EV. Combining cutting-edge technology, a spacious interior, and a sleek design. It's everything you love about the Equinox, now electrified.
At Jim Ellis Chevrolet, located on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter in Chamblee, they're committed to making your car buying experience just as impressive as the vehicle you drive. With great prices, a knowledgeable team, and a seamless shopping experience, they'll get you on the road in style.
Shop in person or online at JimEllisChevrolet.com, where you can browse all the latest offers and even start your purchase today.
Go electric, save big, and drive better with the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV. Jim Ellis Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer applies to 2024 Chevy Equinox EV, 3RS EV models, example stock EE B4017. MSRP $51,330. After $6,000 in Jim Ellis discount, sale price is $45,330. Excludes TABT and state fees, expires 1/31/25.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talk about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, the Morning Extra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Tug Rhino and Los on the Morning Extra until 10. January 6th committee. They had a plan. They had a goal, and their plan went to pot, and their goal failed.
Let's say if I told you there's a 5% chance that somebody in the office that you have a problem with will ever be your boss. Wouldn't you pretty much take it, hey, I got a 95% chance this person will never be my boss.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me that I have to degrade, have to deal with this person, have to make things difficult on them, maybe
What's the big
you would.
deal?
What's the big deal? 5% chance they're ever going to be running the show. 95% chance I'm doing this because other people are like, hey, you're going to continue to progress in your field as long as you make things a little difficult on this person. I get why the January 6th committee did what they did.
Yeah, I do too.
But now they're in a position, as Speaker Johnson pointed out, we're going to investigate them.
Yep.
We're going to look into what really happened. We're going to dig into the information. And to think, they thought 95% chance, as long as we do this, Donald Trump is dead and buried and the Republicans will never be behind him ever again. They really thought it was. It made sense.
Listen, there were plans. How long was this plan in effect? I mean, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, if there's one thing about them, they actually do plan ahead and try to come up with every scheme. The only problem is they're a little too transparent in it that it falls apart and they're liars. But the reality is, yeah, I get exactly why they all fell into the trap. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger. There's no way he's supposed to be president. In fact, they were going to keep him out of office. Not only that, assassination. They were speaking violently about him, throwing out rhetoric about crosshairs and this. They thought this political career was over. It was the biggest, probably political comeback in history.
At least American
so
history.
There you go. But the reality is they left a door open, and now they're in trouble. So, yeah, the investigations continue, and there are a lot of people, including President Biden, who didn't pardon themselves.
Well, consider.
The door could be kicked open, boy.
February, March 2021, 2022, 2023, this span of time, you had Fox News that made it a point strategically that Donald Trump was dead and buried and we need to get away from this guy. And their
programming reflected it.
And anyone who spoke in a way that was similar to him had to go. Remember, they took their number one person in prime time in Tucker Carlson. And not that he was some big Trump guy, but because he was outspoken and he spoke in a way similar to Donald Trump as far as what he was bringing up, he had to go too. They pivoted with the belief that the entire country was moving away from Donald Trump. So it's no surprise that January 6th committee thought to themselves, if we do this the right way, on primetime television in a made-for-TV show, we will bury this guy and it'll be over with.
And the same thing with people like Fonnie Willis, Rhino. They thought that's why they jumped in too.
Sure.
It was just dominoes falling for them.
Right.
There's nothing to lose.
There's nothing to lose. He's not going to come after us. He's not going to get at us. Fonnie, unfortunately, didn't get a pardon. Watch out, because your corruption will be brought to and investigated. But I think it is very important what Carlos, here's what they did. They pretended to be populists to defeat the populists, and they knew if we can get this, we can get every single one of those that actually relates to everyday Americans and people who are outsiders to come in and break up this establishment, this uniparty. We can get them all at one time, and they thought, we're going to do it with this committee.
I'm just saying that if I was being asked, hey, do you want to be on this committee to bury Donald Trump? I'm looking at that as I'm going to shoot fish in a barrel. No problem.
So easy.
And that is why it is the biggest comeback in the history of politics.
Yeah.
Because me, as a 2-time Trump voter, now a 3-time Trump voter, I would have gotten on that committee in a minute and been like, okay, here's what we're going to go do. Because I understand where this thing is going. And that's not a disloyalty thing. That is an intelligence thing. That is the entire group going, here's what's going to happen. And to recognize that he turned it around and they looked at it as, well, the Republican Party will never get behind this guy ever again. Look what happened on January 6th, and we'll tell the story.
We're going to fan the flames and make him a cancer.
And he is the president again. Think about how crazy that is. I mean, just 4 years ago, we're like, there's no way.
Talk about your all-time backfire.
I mean, I'm talking about Ron DeSantis because in my mind, I keep going, like doing the political calculus. There's no way. And then it happens.
And then there was. And then there was a way.
And you know what? And Rhino was ahead of the curve on this thing. Because of the prosecution. Remember, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis were polling at the same numbers until the lawfare started. They were both sitting at right around 35-40%. Once the lawfare started, it jumped Donald Trump into another stratosphere.
Yeah. I think that Republicans should learn from this a little bit because you know who else didn't get a part of Nancy Pelosi? Who else was in charge of making sure that the Capitol was protected on that day? Nancy Pelosi. We need investigations into all of them. Maybe they should hold a Jan 6. I think the questioning should still continue about all of them. Now you bring in Liz Cheney. Now you bring in Adam Kinzinger, Benny Thompson.
They can't plead the fifth.
They can't plead the fifth. Tell us the truth. Tell us all about that. Here's the information that we got. Are you saying you didn't erase this? Are you saying that Nancy Pelosi involved in this? What did she tell you? Let's see all these records. Let's go ahead and expose them for who they are and what they did. But yeah, I don't blame any of them thinking, hey, here's my political out. This is where I'm going to become politically important by joining this, even if I'm a Republican.
What a year Donald Trump has already had. He's only, the start of the fourth day. So he was prosecuted and left for dead. And then he bounces back, and both of you described it well as the biggest comeback in political history. He is again the president when Nancy Pelosi said that will never happen. And they set up every barrier, every roadblock, used the DOJ to assure it wouldn't happen, and yet it did. And today, he and his wife celebrate their 20th anniversary. How about that? What a year. He's only 4 days in.
Yeah.
And he's already had a better year than most people in D.C. will ever have in their entire existence.
But it's like his fourth wife, and none of us have ever had more than one person, or we've never had more than one wife. It's just him. These people, look, I'm so happy that we've got these 4 days, and I can't wait. I mean, 4 days has been a present. This has been the greatest present that I've had. Ship. I love it.
Like a rocket ship.
Keep it going.
20 years of marriage.
That's awesome. Good for him.
Most marriages do not last 20 years.
Nope.
And his did through all the thick, through all the thin, through all the good, through all the bad, and there's been plenty of bad that has been thrown his way. And they even told you that his wife wasn't even into him anymore. She wasn't part of anything. She is ashamed of him.
She didn't kiss him.
Yeah, she did all that little stuff. And yet today, in the face of all that, they celebrate their 20th anniversary. That blows me away. They say a long marriage is the biggest sign of success in life. Boy, that is highlighted today.
Yeah.
20 years of marriage for those guys. Good for them. Good for them.
I know. Sometimes 20 years feels like 100.
but and not with your sweet wife, though.
No, I'm talking about
in
other
other
people.
scenarios.
Other people.
Yes, other people. Yeah. That's funny.
I didn't make it 20. 14 in the boot. Boom.
Dude, most don't. Most don't. But the fact that you made it 14 is amazing.
I would have made it 20.
Dude, there's a friend of mine who just got divorced after 20 plus years, and man, it's a tough scenario that they're going through. I don't envy them at all.
Well, now they can plow through everything.
Yeah, and he is the good, the bad, the encouraging, and the scary. AI, the race that we're all running in next.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
I rather like the idea that Trump has declared war, so to speak, on the drug cartels in Mexico. There's another drug, I'll use the word cartel, that is active in America now legally. They call it Big Pharma. And yes, I'm on this tear again about prescription drug advertisements on TV. I keep a list. I've got over 50 prescription drugs advertised on TV right now. I've probably missed a few. And every one of these advertisements has the same theme. Take this drug and your life will be blue skies and green lights, roses, everything sweet, happy. Let's see. You'll be indoor skydiving. You'll be walking flowery trails in the mountains with your best friends. You'll be walking aimlessly through the streets of your town with complete strangers. You'll be dancing and singing about the benefits of your drugs, and all this does is send that message. Take this drug, your life will be better. Now, all of the kids that are watching these ads, are they smart enough to figure out that maybe this isn't true when you take a drug? Maybe you get addicted. Maybe your life gets destroyed. Maybe you die. Gee, if that drug can make me go indoor skydiving or have wonderful days on the beach, I wonder what fentanyl can do for me. The solution? Simple. Allow them to advertise. Say what the drug is, what it does, what the side effects are, and that's it. No portrayals of people leading blissful, happy lives. That's not the reality. Only 2 nations allow this, the U.S. and New Zealand. We got this one wrong. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools, so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Start 2025 in style with Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs, home to one of Atlanta's largest selections of new and used vehicles. They're just 4 miles north of 285 on Roswell Road.
Stop by today to explore their incredible inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs, each thoroughly vetted to meet the highest standards.
Looking for power and performance? Drive home a legendary Mustang or conquer the great outdoors in the rugged Bronco. Need family-friendly space? The Explorer and Expedition have you covered. Or experience the capability and strength of America's best-selling truck, the F-150.
And when it's time to finance, their straightforward, hassle-free process ensures your experience is stress-free. With access to numerous lenders and expert guidance, they'll help you find the best rates and terms to fit your budget.
Which Ford will you drive home to start the new year? Find out at Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs or visit us online at jimellisford.com. Your Ford dreams are waiting. Make them a reality today at Atlanta's favorite Ford dealer, Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs.
When it comes to federal government jobs, people actually realize that it is going to take merit to get good jobs instead of specific skin color or sexual orientation.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
The Trump immigration crackdown's underway. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. More U.S. troops are going to the southern border as federal agents start going after illegal immigrants.
The 1,500 soldiers and Marines deploying right now represent a 60% increase from the already 2,500 that are there. And it comes as ICE's enforcement and removal officers have been hitting the streets across the country, launching early morning raids targeting some 700,000 criminal illegal aliens that have been roaming free under the Biden-Harris administration, protected in sanctuary cities.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. President Trump's defending the pardons and commutations he gave those convicted in the 2021 Capitol riots, saying they were treated badly. He's also critical of the preemptive pardons President Biden gave family members when leaving office, telling Fox's Hannity.
The funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon.
President Trump also tells Fox he wants to reform FEMA, wanting states to handle disaster response with federal financial aid. Tomorrow, he'll go to North Carolina, visiting an area ravaged by floods last year, and then go to the Los Angeles area, where a big new wildfire burns north of L.A. Fox's Jonathan Hunt's near the flames in Castaic.
As of now, firefighters do appear to have this huge fire under control and burning into non-residential areas.
In a few hours, President Trump will talk to world leaders gathered at an Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. In a virtual address, after he talked to Saudi Arabia's ruler.
Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman believes Trump administration reforms could bring about what he calls unprecedented economic prosperity. He told President Trump in a phone call that he intends to invest $600 billion into the United States over the next 4 years.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. We just got all the Oscar nominations this morning. The film Amelia Perez, which won 4 Golden Globes, leads the way with 13 nominations, including the Best Picture Academy Award. We'll find out the winners March 2nd. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry!
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
You voted big government out and efficient government in. Now it's time to trim the fat from big wireless. Pure Talk gives you the exact same service on the exact same towers with better customer service, all for half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Pure Talk to save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
I wake up every morning with the Morning Xtra.
Tug Rhino and Lowe's until 10 on the Morning Extra. 404-741-1230 is the number at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. There's all kinds of things that have changed in the past couple years. I mean, for real, the past 4 years. But there is one thing that has not changed in the past 2 years. Not at all. No change whatsoever in people's pizza order.
Huh. Well, that makes sense.
It does. When I read that, I was like, well, surely I've... And I've not. I don't know the last time I ordered a different pizza. No, even if we're at a different restaurant. Yep. Or if you're ordering from a different place.
It gets to the point, and being someone who owned a pizza place for over 7 years, one of the things I knew were my customers. So when they would call, I would say, large pepperoni, extra boom, boom, boom. Yeah, and sometimes people would walk in and they'd be like, hey, and I'd be like,
get the usual.
It's coming.
Yeah, get the usual.
And they're like, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to pizza, everybody it's easy to think, pepperoni sausage, go. Half pepperoni, go. It's just the same thing every single time. Very rarely do people go, hey, you know what? I'm in the mood for something different today.
Yeah. I got a report that our general sales manager, Colin Wheat, is not apologizing for tarnishing the shield.
Well, look. He's guilty. He's at fault.
Tug Coward, who went out with our general sales manager, good friend of all of ours, Colin Wheat, and Colin got him to break dry January.
It's more damp now.
And now it's damp January. Mm-hmm. But again, he didn't recognize what he was doing. It's almost like stealing your dry January virginity. Like he didn't respect it. He kind of looked at it. He told me, Rhino, he goes, he was looking for a reason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's such a Colin thing to say.
That makes sense.
Dude, that summarizes
because he's been strong
Colin
for 3 weeks.
Right. And then Colin comes in and then blows it and then blames you.
Right. And blames
saying
you.
He was doing it for you because he could see deep down inside
that you desperately needed
it.
Of Makers and Coke. I desperately.
That's what he was saying.
Well, I mean, I get that too.
And I tried to scold him about it.
I know.
And as he told me, it was your fault.
Yeah,
and that's why I told him, I go, you're tarnishing the shield, man. Yeah. Captain America was dry.
Says the guy who has bottles of liquor underneath his desk all day, every day.
I've seen that man drink 38 beers and not miss a beat. Literally, I've never seen anybody consume as many beers as I've seen Colin.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. It's the only thing I can say, the only way I can describe it.
He makes Pete Hegseth look like dry January.
Like dry life.
Yeah.
You know? But it is my fault, though. All I had to do was say no. Personal responsibility. We preach
Temptation from demons is tough, though.
It is, but you have to take that personal responsibility, and I do. I'm now in damp January, but I plan to remain on course for the next 8 days. Unless Unless Friday night when we go to Connie House in Johns Creek and there's about 10, 12 people going with us. Unless I'm
and they're all
somebody,
drunks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that probably will.
Are you saying 11 o'clock, no good old days today?
Yeah.
Well, it all depends. We may have to.
It all depends. We'll see. Hold on a second.
How hard are you going to twist my arm?
Yeah. He didn't even start twisting yet. You're already there.
It was like, did you just say?
Yeah.
Bar?
It'll probably be closer to early afternoon, but yeah, I could definitely do.
Well, you might be encroaching in nap time at that point.
Well, okay.
I got to handle volleyball tonight.
Okay.
And I had to do it last night. And
Maybe
so
tomorrow then.
When I got
Maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
We just push it off a day. That's what we can do. That.
It's a good possibility then.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But I mean, I was okay with
Make a birthday celebration Friday?
Yeah, something like that.
Huh.
Yeah. We can do
All
that.
right, I got a bunch of chores I got to do when I get home today, but tomorrow will be perfect.
Got a lot of wood he's got to chop.
That's right. I got some things I got to handle.
Keep everybody warm.
He's got this real estate empire he's building. You know? He's got some things he got to take care of. That's that, and which is my dream right there is the real estate empire, because that's where that passive income comes in. You hear financial advisors and people talk about that all the time, having that passive income. And how many? What do y'all have? 2, Aaron? 3? What do y'all have?
Well, right now we'll have 3 altogether, and then there's 2 other houses that are fully rented, and then the house that we're working on in Edenton, so 6 altogether.
You're steaming towards indentured servitude. This can be good.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta
if we don't go broke first.
Well, but look.
We might have to sell some.
Look, if you make it, though.
Listen, you hire 3 illegals, you have them drive or Uber for you, and they just keep creating you more income.
Ooh,
this is what Tug was already talking to me about. He's like, I need to create a Lyft account, an Uber account, an Uber Eats account.
No, I didn't say that.
And they'll all drive for you.
I did not say that. You're the one that told me about it.
As the guy who's legal will be like, listen, you pay me 80%.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm at 50. Let me just take 80.
Whoa.
50?
He's a man of God.
I want you to listen.
Can't take 80.
Keep your pip hand strong.
Yeah. Walks awfully. Carry a big stick.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Well, nowadays with the dollar really not being backed by anything, it's just made up money, and the government can tax you on the money that they own, because that's what this has become. They've printed so much, they actually own money now because there's no backing for it. So they could take it from you, tax you, or to steal from you as much as they want. They can't take your land. Not that way.
No, they can't.
They can tax you out of it,
Yes,
and they can continue to try. But luckily, we defeated those communists.
Yes, there are workarounds.
Yeah.
But yes, hopefully for the next 4 years, maybe 8, maybe 12, maybe 20, that we can hold them off and keep America on the right track when it comes to taking people's land, taking things from people. The AI race is something that I'm fascinated with. I'm frightened by. I think there's so many layers to this that I don't really know where to begin on a lot of it. You saw Donald Trump with those Silicon Valley billionaires and the Japanese billionaire talking about investing $500 billion into the United States of America, all on AI. And this is kind of a race into the unknown. And it reminds me, and you can tell me if you think this is right, it reminds me of the race for the nuclear bomb. Because you're seeing all these people come together, and the smartest and the best and the brightest get together on one project. And the AI revolution is being fought, researched, and is being developed under Donald Trump. It's basically a fight for supremacy and survival, really, if you think about it, because some of it, is just the AI on your phone. But some of it will determine how wars are fought. This is a possibility of becoming the world's lone superpower for the rest of time, because you're so far advanced ahead when it comes to AI.
I think we should destroy it all.
But we can't, though. I know.
Oh, no. I meant it all.
Oh, well, look.
We need China's, everybody else that's going to do it, because the reality is we can't control what they do.
No, but we better be able and capable of defeating whatever it is they do. Like with the nuclear bomb.
Yeah, well,
that was the great equalizer.
I'll be honest, John Connor didn't have an easy time defeating them all. And that's the fear that I think a lot of people have is we don't know what this AI is capable of. And going back even to the old shows like the Twilight Zones, the black and white ones, where they had a robot sitting there and they're like, ask the robot a question. Well, what do you want to do? I want to be smarter than humans. And they're like, unplug it. Unplug it.
Scary.
We need to unplug. We need to unplug because, this is going to continue down that path, but it's so dangerous because I don't even think we understand the capabilities of it.
Well, we're in the infancy of this. Right now we're talking about being able to fight our wars, our future wars, by using a technology that we don't understand yet, that we're trying to figure out as we go. Like, for instance,
we're building it as we use it.
We're exactly like, let's implement this. We don't know where it's going. I end up asking Grok, if Tug Cowart fought against AI, who would win? It says, Tug Cowart, being a human with skills and experience typical of a radio personality, would face a significant challenge if pitted against AI in a battle where AI strengths like data processing, pattern recognition, or strategy optimization are key.
Yeah.
AI's already figuring out how to beat you.
I was just say,
I'm not beat everybody.
I'm not good at decimals and fractions. It's going to beat me.
But we have to form this weird partnership.
I know.
We're
and that's
forming
the thing.
a partnership with a computer that we created, and who knows what's been programmed into them. That's the scary part to me. The computer's not thinking on its own. It's been fed information that it then uses to go ahead and formulate a response to you. And that's the scary part to me because, I do use AI for certain things, especially when I'm, proofreading or doing anything. Hey, proofread this for me. And there are times that when it does proofread, it proofreads from, a legal alien to undocumented immigrant.
Right. Because it's been told.
It doesn't know that.
No, of course not. It's been told to think that. That's where the information comes from.
So who's going to tell it to do what?
Well, but see, that's the thing. Whoever masters this first will probably be the lone superpower, as I mentioned, for the next 100 years. Because this is such a arms race.
Well, you're not putting men in the field any longer. You're putting machines in the field. And they don't need... It's not like the Blitzkrieg Germans, okay? They don't need drugs to do their thing. They don't get tired. They don't need food. They don't need sleep. They're able to just go about their business. And so, it is that next evolution of why it is, as much as the nuclear weapon, the nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb, changed everything that was going on in the 1940s, this has that same potential without,
yes, it does.
Hopefully not the world destruction capabilities.
Yeah. Or complete world destruction.
Yes.
Well, that's for them if we don't watch out.
It is.
I mean, it's as simple as we always say, what's the only threat to them is us. So the reality for a machine that wants to continue to live and thrive is how do I take out the one thing that can unplug me? That's the scary part to me. Because these things are starting to think. And with quantum computers and AI and everything that's going on, they're starting to pull information that we have no idea how quick it can turn on us because we're the only threat.
This is kind of a new industrial revolution a little bit. This is going to revolutionize everything that Americans do, see, touch, participate in, every
your surgeries, everything,
life, every aspect of life, but it's wrapped in national security. So it's civilian, yes, but it's just as much military. And there's no bumper cars or lane bumpers like in bowling. There's nothing to keep it on the rails. If you make a mistake, it could be life-changing. It could be life-altering for everybody on the planet. And I'm not trying to exaggerate this, but it could be.
Yeah.
It absolutely could be.
We've seen too many movies about this. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is scary. I like some of it. I would love to just see us get rid of all this and just go back to farming and living on our land and doing that. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It's over. But think about that. We have Joe Biden who can't figure out how to get a nuclear football or do it. Then we have computers that at any time could go, hey, listen, let's take this place over. We got to fix all of this earth. Let's bomb them all out of. It's just so scary.
This is the slippery slope we look at AI and we think this is the potential to understand how to reach other worlds, how to cure cancers, how to...
And those are the good things, obviously.
Increase the longevity of human life, how to become more efficient, how to feed the world, all of these ideas that we have, we're like, if we just have AI to help us do this. Mm-hmm. The other issue is, and what happens if it becomes self-aware?
Yeah.
Right.
And then it becomes a sci-fi movie.
Absolutely.
I also think we become dumb.
Oh,
we
definitely.
become dumber and dumber. We're talking about idiocracy, where we don't even have to think anymore. I don't have to think about writing. If I want to say, hey, computer, write my news, it'll write my news. Hey, do my book report.
It will.
It will do it. No longer do our children have to learn because the computer does it for them. It's an easy answer, and I see it too much now.
The crazy thing is that, with the nuclear bomb, at least in this comparison, there was only one of us that had it. Mm-hmm. Right? And now, obviously, that's changed quite a bit. But with AI, it's so inexpensive. Mm-hmm. Anybody with a computer can create anything that will damage and destroy anything else, anything in their sights. It's really unbelievable. It's interesting. It's frightening all at the same time. I mean, this is basically an AI war that we're on the precipice of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't just mean the battlefield war. I mean, where some dude sitting in Cheyenne, Wyoming, can write a computer code and shut down half of the country. And that could be China, that could be America, that could be half the world. Yeah. And it's so easily done. Mm-hmm. I don't have the expertise to do it, but there's plenty of people that will figure it out quite quickly.
Yeah, and it's not that hard to figure out anymore. And the more that I get online and, I've programmed and I can write HTML, I can write PHP, MySQL, I can write all that. I don't need to anymore.
Yeah,
I don't need to anymore.
Yeah, it just does it for you.
But I like to do it. I like to read because the knowledge is here. And I'm trying to teach my son who wants to be a graphic designer or maybe get into that world of graphic design and using Adobe and all of that. Here are the steps of you need to. Well, I could just type it. I don't want you typing it in. I want you to learn. I don't want you to have it read a book and give you the cliff notes anymore. I want you to actually. I think we're dumbing our society down with AI. I understand the importance of being this country right now and Donald Trump, and what he's saying is we got to be the first ones to really, really control this and make sure we know it, because we can't trust China, Russia, North Korea, any of them.
So right now the schools deal with the issue of book reports and who's writing this stuff and whether or not it's AI or whether or not it's actual people. But it goes beyond that at this point, because so there have been the stories about AI tutors and how they're more efficient and they're better at teaching you the information than a regular tutor.
Right.
And so there's a place for this. At the same time, how much, and I think it's legitimate when Rhino brings it up, how much does it dumb us down? Are we learning something from this?
I was reading an article about scientists that are using AI to research, right? Mm-hmm. And they're able to find these extraordinary, extraordinary things that they would have never been, that it would take them years to figure out and put all the pieces together, and AI's finding it in an instant.
Quantum computing,
patterns and whatever.
Quantum computing
is talking about the idea of when you just look at the data of processing the universe. Mm-hmm. Quantum computing is actually showing you, hey, there might be a multitude of universes here.
Yeah.
Which is wild when because we can't fathom it, but it can.
The scariest thing that I ever heard on this radio show was when Carlos brought us transhumanism. Yeah. And I dove so deep into it. It is a scary thought because there are so many susceptible to saying, yeah, I'd like to be a half computer.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to process data at the speed by which these computers are.
Those researchers that I was just telling you about that said AI is helping them do things that are extraordinary that they would have never been able to do in 10 years, got done in 10 minutes. They also said it made them less curious. There was no reason for them to even have an independent thought because AI was taking care of everything. So the dumbing down that we just discussed is definitely happening, and the researchers themselves are saying it. When we continue on Extra 106.3, 9 o'clock hour, brought to you by Southern Exteriors. Right now, if you do windows, doors, siding, a roof, a back deck, screening in a back deck, they'll give you 10% off the entire job that you do, or 0% financing for 12 months. Take care of your biggest investment, and that is your home. Make sure that your home is taken care of. You have to. Promises made, promises kept. 2,500 troops to the border next on Extra 106.3.
A new year, a new president, and a new approach for America. Extra 106.3 will be with you every step of the way in 2025 with the local and national voices you trust the most. Atlanta radio legends who've been with you for a generation and the worldwide resources of Fox News bringing you the latest. We are proud to start another year as the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Boy, it's been a few wild weeks, hasn't it? High winds, we've had heavy rains, we've had snow, we've had ice. They say it's coming back again. That's what I was told this morning. We'll get more of that. Man, your roof, your siding, your house has taken a beating. So I recommend you call the pros at Southern Exteriors. Hey, it's Tug. They've been keeping homes safe since 1999 with expert storm damage repairs and roofing that you can trust. You know, you got that little bitty problem in the roof, just the tiniest little spot on the ceiling. If you let it stay that way, if you let it fester, that is going to become a big problem. That's going to become a big spot on the roof. So call Southern Exteriors. Have them take care of it. 877-9-SOUTHERN. SouthernExteriors.co. They got you covered roofing, siding, gutters, windows. If it's on the outside of your home, that's what they do. And now they'll give you 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any job that you choose, any repair that you need done. Do not wait until there's more bad weather. Make sure you take care of it now. Get your house prepared. It's your biggest investment. Why would you not take care of it? And why would you not use the pros at Southern Exteriors? They've been servicing Atlanta for over 20 years. 877-9-SOUTHERN, southernexteriors.co.
Join Braves Vacations for some exciting road trips to historic cities and ballparks during the 2025 season. Fans can enjoy 3 games at Fenway Park in Boston to watch the Braves take on the Red Sox May 15th through the 19th, or head to Wrigley Field for 3 games against the Chicago Cubs August 31st through September 3rd. Road trip packages include deluxe hotel accommodations, game tickets, exclusive events with Braves team personnel, unique excursions, select meals, optional airfare, and more. Visit Braves.com/vacation to learn more.
No one plans on going to jail, but at A Second Chance Bail Bonds, we believe everyone deserves a second chance. That's the driving force behind everything we do. If you or a loved one has been arrested across town or across the country, you need help now. A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast with bondsmen throughout Atlanta to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hi, my name is Steve from Marietta, and we hired ATL Turf Co. to build our dream backyard golf setup. They installed a large 4-hole putting green, a sand bunker, a short game area, and did a full conversion to artificial grass around the pool with decorative retaining walls. ATL Turf Co. was really creative. They were efficient. The installation was a breeze. Price was completely reasonable, and I definitely appreciated their communication throughout the project. I would definitely recommend ATL Turf Co. to anybody thinking about doing a backyard makeover. You can check them out online right now at atlturfco.com.
At the Piedmont Bank, we're proud to be one of Georgia's largest community banks, focusing on serving businesses and the communities they serve. With headquarters right here in Metro Atlanta, our tailored banking expertise and solutions help meet the diverse needs of our customers so they have what it takes to grow, expand, and thrive. It's what elevates us above the rest. Find a location near you at Piedmont.bank and experience elevated banking for you and your business. The Piedmont Bank. Banking elevated. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Why does it matter that D. Geller & Son is Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler? Because we get first dibs. When diamonds come to Atlanta, they come to D. Geller & Son first. A bunch of diamonds that look the same on paper, but there's about 1 in every 10 that you can see from across the room, and a lot in every 10 that are what my dad calls duds. So we keep the good one, we pack the rest back up, and they go somewhere else. That somewhere else is usually a big box store that's not quite as picky. That means the same color, same clarity, and same price gets you more brilliance, more sparkle, More bang for your diamond buck at D. Geller & Son. That's what we call the D. Geller difference. So why are we so picky? We live, work, and play right here in Atlanta. So when it comes to getting you the best diamond, we have to get it right. That's why Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler became Atlanta's favorite diamond retailer. Come see the D. Geller & Son difference for yourself and find out why we've been Atlanta's most trusted jeweler since 1939. In Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, online at dgeller.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. U.S. District Judge William Ray has rejected a proposal by Cobb County to allocate $750,000 in taxpayer funds to be distributed among black firefighting candidates. The federal government had previously determined that the county needed to address racial bias in its firefighting hiring practices and increase the number of black firefighters. The proposal, developed jointly by the county and federal government, was intended to resolve these issues. However, Judge Ray ruled against it, stating the court notes that the relief proposed is intentional discrimination based on race, where only those claimants who are African American are entitled to relief. Cobb County maintains that any alleged discrimination in its hiring practices was completely unintentional. The Laken Riley Act has cleared its final hurdle, passing the House of Representatives yesterday after being sent back from the Senate. The bill now heads to President Donald Trump's desk for his signature to become law. Introduced by Georgia Representative and friend of the show, Mike Collins, the legislation grants federal immigration agencies broader authority to detain undocumented immigrants accused of crimes. The bill passed the House by a vote of 263 to 156, with Georgia Democrats Sanford Bishop and Lucy McBath voting in favor along with the Republicans. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 1063.
Download the app so you can listen live and on demand to the Morning Extra and conservative content throughout the day, beginning with the Morning Extra, Tug, Rhino, and Los. Then the Glenn Beck program from 10 until noon. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton from noon until 3 until 6. The Kimmer Show. The only place you get Kimmer is here on Extra 1063. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. They'll give you 10% off a deal or a job, and you can choose that, or you can choose 12 months, 0% financing, doors, windows, siding. They do it all. Back decks, they can do it all. They've been doing it for so long, and they do a great job. Great folks down there at Southern Exteriors. So there's promises made, and in politics, it's so rare that those promises are kept. And that's by either party. We're quick around here to point out the Republican Party not doing what they're supposed to, because they are the ones that we closely align with, or most closely align with. So it's like when your own kids, like if you see other kids acting up, you're like, man, that's tough. That's tough. That sucks. I hate that. I hate to see that. But when it's your own kids, you're like, we're not putting up with this. I kind of feel like we have to hold the Republicans more accountable than even the Democrats, because we at least expect that they're going to try to do the right thing. When it comes to the border, the right thing is being done. Promises are being delivered, Rhino.
Yeah, look, this is the one thing that we're going to love more than anything else, is that we continue to get things done at the border, and we're doing it right away. One of the things the Biden administration did was bring 1,500 people to the border. Now, those Border Patrol agents were tasked with something totally different than what Donald Trump is bringing them to the border to do. Remember, they brought them in to help transfer paperwork over quicker, help get people in the country quicker. This is saying, nope, this border is shut, you're not coming through, and 2,500 of the best people in the world, our soldiers, will be there to make sure everything is going in the correct manner.
This is the power of a mandate. And that is the benefit of what Donald Trump has. Had this gone on a year or two down the road, and you're declaring a national emergency at the border, you probably would have had a lot more pushback. Mm-hmm. But the strength of his election was based on, fix this. This is a problem. We're seeing this across American cities. This is going on in American society. You need to fix it. I think if, again, 2 years from now, if you said, hey, I'm rolling Marines down to the border, people are like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not how you use the Marines. You can right now.
Yeah. And that comes with the mandate. And on top of that, though, even the most liberal of outlets were telling you, their polling said that the American people supported using our military to secure the border. That is their job, to defend the nation. So, yes, it's not surprising that Donald Trump is using the mandate that he was handed with the will of the people.
Yeah, who defends every other country's borders?
Us.
The military and us. And even in those other countries, they get their soldiers. In Israel, it's the soldiers. The IDF controls the border, not, this is just something that's going to happen. And I love it because we've already seen, look at crossings. Completely down. I think it's like 900% since Trump has taken office. And the mandate is exactly. Tom Homan has been amazing. He continues to do this. They continue to set it up. But the real thing that's going to happen with the border is that Tom Homan has already said, we're getting rid of the criminals. It's already being done, and everybody's just going to kind of fall in line because they're going to realize this is the right thing to do.
Yeah, this is the right thing to do. And again, it's got a limited window. You're going to be able to get away with this for a while. Then you're going to have public sentiment that's going to turn on this stuff. Fortunately, the best that the left, the best that the communists have been able to do so far is to show you people at the border where their app ended up being canceled. And they're crying at the border. You know what it did to a lot of Americans? Here's a tip. Head south.
Yeah, that's right.
Hasn't worked.
Right.
But they're going to keep trying.
Absolutely. And at some point, you're right, that it will wear people down. Mm-hmm. It will. And it will fall out of favor, most likely. But while it is...
Get it done.
You've got to do it. 2,500 troops now. They say it's supposed to climb up to maybe even 10,000 troops. I'm okay with it. I want those borders secured. And for all the people that are preaching about the CBP One app being canceled and those poor people that were at the border, do I feel bad for them? Sure. But it was Joe Biden that invited them to break our laws willingly. He knew what he was doing. He knew he had these same powers that Donald Trump is using right now, and he chose not to do it. It was a choice to leave the door wide open. It was a choice to import people that were going to break our laws, not just the immigration laws, but the laws in major cities and to kill and all the things that go along with it, the things that are so disgusting that nobody is in favor of. Those people are who I feel worse for. I don't feel as bad for the people sitting on the border that can't get in as I do the people that were killed in Boston or killed in Chicago.
Carlos, do you have any problem with people coming to a legal point of entry and applying and saying, hey, asylum, this is my child, I'm a mother, we got to get out of here, they've raped me, whatever, blah, 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 we want to come across the border? You have any problem legally doing it?
No, because that is the legal ramifications of how you do it.
Exactly. So if you want to blame anyone, you blame Harris and Biden, because what they did was they ruined this. For every single family that's on the other side of the border, Biden and Harris are the reasons they cannot come in. Because if they would have done one thing, and that's do DNA testing and keeping criminals and people who are trafficking drugs, human trafficking, weapons, and everything else that came across the border, if they actually shut it down, if they actually did the work and put the soldiers there, then guess what? Moms and kids could come in. They could find a way to work here in this country, be a part of this country. But what they did was, now we have to shut it down because they let way too many criminals, over 1,700 people killed during the Biden administration by illegal citizens that came across that border, compared to 11 over 4 years of what Donald Trump did. 11 to 1,700. And 1,700 might be a little low because they stopped counting the gotaways.
If you had a family that came from Venezuela, and let's just say that, for instance, maybe dad was a mayor of a small town at some point. He believed in freedom, he believed in democracy, and then things obviously changed there. Those are the people that, when they're seeking asylum, make total sense. And you would have their case heard in a court of law as part of their entry into the country, and more than likely, they'd receive asylum. All right, that was completely butchered and blown up by the Biden administration.
Yep.
We had the ports of entry and this system, this court system set up for people that are trying to escape persecution. What happened was we just decided to say, all of you are persecuted. Come on in.
Yeah.
What was your persecution? I committed crime in my country. Oh, it's fine. Come on in. Let's go.
We'll take you.
I don't know. They let me out of jail and told me to come here.
Right. Yeah. They actually sent
Venezuela.
me here. That's right. They sent me here. But that's the other thing. Like right now, the asylum cases are not even being heard whatsoever.
Good.
Because we have to get the border secure first. We have to put plans in place. We have to put processes in place to do the things that need to be done to screen and vet. And all of that had been abandoned for 4 years. You have to get that under control before you can let anybody else in.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the Democrats are completely to blame for any family that's not able to come to this country and be saved. They're to blame because you know what they did? They brought in everybody, including criminals. If I ran my pizza business that way, if I were to like, hey, I need to hire some pizza chefs, and I'm like, look, I don't know if any of you are. I'm not going to do any investigation in your background. I'm not going to look into you. No background checks, nothing. And then I find out the guy can't cook pizza. That's not Donald Trump's fault. That's my fault. And that's what Biden did. They said, hey, everybody come in. We're going to throw away everything that we're supposed to be doing because not everybody that's coming here is looking for the same thing. And you could pretend that, well, every human has a right to find their safe space. Okay, I'm not saying that. But not every criminal and not every person is good. So some you have to keep out. But you let everybody in, and now we got to clean up your mess because you're a bunch of children. You're a bunch of idiotic little Democrat children.
Joni Ernst introduced a bill to defund Planned Parenthood. Dude, I love this. I think it's great. We shouldn't be funding the murder of innocent babies in the womb.
Yep.
I am proud of her for doing this. The only thing, I wish she would have added PBS and NPR to this because I'm tired of funding left-wing propaganda.
We're going to get rid of the whole triad?
Yes. Go after it all. Get rid of it all.
Yeah, let's start with the baby killers, though.
Yeah,
let's start with the baby
let's
killers.
Put them in order.
Let's go
let's
the most
go.
extreme, the highest one on the totem pole.
Totally fine.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Now let's
Do you
get to the
benefit
next.
off of killing children?
Yes.
Number one.
You've got to go.
Do you promote killing children more than anything else instead of actually doing what you were formed? Oh, wait. No, you are eugenics. That was what you were formed to do. Yeah, I'm glad they're doing this. This is one of the most disgusting organizations ever. And for anybody who is listening to a Democrat that goes, but it's so, like Janet Yellen, but these black people will never get out of poverty if we don't put these elimination centers to kill their race in their own communities.
Those are not Rhino's words. Those are Janet Yellen's words.
Yep.
She testified using those words.
And look, there are plenty of white women, black women, everybody who, kill babies. And I understand that it's a full spectrum and it's a very diverse. Baby killing's very diverse. But numbers will show you why they put these centers in black neighborhoods. They want to kill them. And they started that way. Go look up. I mean, any liberal that sits here and tells me how great Planned Parenthood is, when I say go look up why they started Planned Parenthood because they wanted to eliminate black children, they go, no, that's not true. Okay. This is the history of it.
Mrs. Sanger.
Get rid of it.
Is the name that you'll be looking for. And once they get rid of the defunding of Planned Parenthood and we add PBS and NPR, we joke about it all the time. Let them survive on their own. See if their content has the ability to stand up to the free market. Or at those Odyssey stations that are now going to be owned by George Soros, some here in town. Will they be able to stand that up? George Soros has got a lot of money. Let him pay for it. I'm done paying for it.
Yeah. If you want to fund this stuff, well, then fund it privately. Why do I have to do it? Especially when it's as slanted as it is.
Anti-American, anti-Christian. I don't want to pay for that.
Yeah, look, let's get rid of Planned Parenthood. Let's go to PBS next. I'm ready for PBS. NPR is so, stupid anyway. Nobody listens to it.
Should
but
it just
PBS,
be weather and traffic?
Yeah, just weather and traffic. Every 6 minutes, they should do weather and traffic.
See if you can politicize this.
That's it. That's how good,
They will. It'll be global warming every 6 minutes.
Yeah, and distractions and lies. Because PBS should not be talking about, well, Elon Musk put up a Nazi salute. This is the most ridiculous, childish thing I've ever seen. And by the way, both sides. Both sides. Anybody putting up AOC or Tim Walz, I know it's funny, it's trolling, and it's true. You should put them up. I get it. It's annoying. This has nothing to go play your game somewhere else. Because the true thing, the one thing I know as a Jew, if you're trying to hide that you're a Nazi, the last thing you do is go into a inauguration on a stage in front of the entire world and do your salute there. This is how stupid liberals are. I'm so sick and tired of the idiots on that side.
4B is next. That is for Bella. She's going to keep you in the loop about the things Gen Z know and are doing that you may not. You'll get your education next as we wrap up the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
The Atlanta Hawks lost last night to the red-hot Detroit Pistons, 104-114. Trae Young was shut down by Pistons point guard Cade Cunningham, only posting 13 points on 5 for 13 shooting with 5 turnovers. Cunningham, on the other hand, had 29 points and 11 assists. The Hawks couldn't buy a three-pointer, shooting 6 of 38 as a team, with DeAndre Hunter going 0 for 9. Atlanta will try again tonight at 7:30 against the Raptors in State Farm Arena. And after an incredible start to the season, the Georgia Bulldogs basketball team has lost its 3rd game in a row, this time coming to Arkansas, losing 65-68. For Extra 106.3 Sports, I'm Joe Virgin.
Wow, there were so many things that I was looking through the other day, and I was like, man, I got to put this away, I got to put this away. Oh, gosh, what if there's an emergency? Where do I need to put this? I need more canned goods. Go get 10 for 10 at Kroger, Publix. And I started stacking up, and then I go, you know what? It's so stupid. Why do I just keep going to these stores when I could just go to True Prep and buy another big bucket and put it back in the garage? A bucket of what, you may be asking? Freeze-dried food, prepackaged, ready to go. Yeah, I like to do it myself too. But at the same time, it's sometimes just convenient to know that you have it there. And that's what you need to do. You need to be prepared in case of any kind of emergency, because I know we all think about, here come the zombies. Oh, what if China attacks this, that, and the other? Yeah, those things could happen, I guess. But it's the little things, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, a train derailing, a chemical plant lighting on fire, wildfires, all of those things. Are you really prepared for that? Do you have a bug out bag? Are you ready to go? If not, True Prep, Marietta, Cobb Parkway, they have the answer. Tell them Rhino sent you down there. Ask for Amy, Matt, Joey, any of the professionals down there, and they'll get you started right away. They even have a gunsmith down there, so if you're having issues, you can go down there and talk to them as well. This is one of the coolest places you'll go. It's like a toy store for all of us, not just men, women, kids, all of us. We can all learn how to do things to make sure that our family's safe. Go visit True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway, or go online right now and look for their bug out class, their intro to emergency preparedness class, or any of the great workshops they have. You got to check it out. Tell them that I sent you down there, Marietta, Cobb Parkway, or go online right now, trueprep.com. That's TRU, prep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
Have you considered securing your family's future, protecting your hard-earned assets, navigating complex legal matters with ease? Nelson Elder Care Law is here to guide and empower you and your loved ones. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust and expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid crisis solutions, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, Nelson Elder Care Law protects what matters most to you. Imagine a team dedicated to safeguarding your legacy every step of the way. Our flat fees ensure transparency, and our customized plans prioritize your family's specific needs. Are you worried about protecting your family and your legacy after you're gone? Let us help you ensure you're absolutely protected from whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Schedule a complimentary legacy planning meeting with our legal team in Marietta or Woodstock today. Contact us at 678-250-9355 or visit at nelsoneldercarelaw.com.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? That's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth. If they're going to make your life miserable, we all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Extra 106.3 is the only station in Atlanta to bring you the legend Neil Vortz, a live and local news talk show on your ride in, and the Kimmer Show every afternoon. Be here at 3 for the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
I have something I need to say. I have something
So bad. Bella, our social media queen, joins us on the Morning Extra teaching you about Gen Z. What is happening in Gen Z, what you should know, probably what your kids or grandkids are doing, the things that you need to pay attention to. 4B, as we call it, she does not vape, but we always accuse her of it, and we will again. How's your vape?
It's great. My vape is great.
All right. So what's on your mind? What do we need to know about this morning?
The TikTok ban, it's still coming up only because Saturday was really weird how it, unfolded.
It was there and then back immediately.
So Saturday night, the app went completely dark. You weren't able to scroll. Right. It was a black screen. It said TikTok has been banned in the U.S. But before it got banned, that entire day, people were spilling, secrets.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry.
Did you cry? I would have cried.
No.
I wouldn't have cried. I wouldn't have cried.
Looking for a new app, remember?
That's right.
Yes.
Did you go to Red Square, the Chinese communist version
Listen,
of
I know
the
Mandarin.
it's the cousin of TikTok.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I know Mandarin, but I don't want to read an app all in Chinese.
I've had a Mandarin orange.
Me too. That's about it. Yeah.
So people were spilling secrets before it shut down. For example, people exposed fake internet relationships. They made videos, so and so on. People were crying. Lots of influencers saying they're losing their community. And then all of a sudden, the U.S.,
They got the stay of execution.
Yeah.
So can I ask this, when they were crying about, because I understand a lot of people have businesses on this, but the influencer thing is just silly to me. I have no more friends that I have no skills, but besides doing this.
The bigger influencers are going to be fine. It's the smaller ones that were more.
The micro influencers.
Yeah. How much money do you think those micro ones, how much are they making?
They make
50, 60 a year or more?
No. Alex Earl makes $60,000 off one post. It's crazy.
Wow. That's a
micro?
No, that's a major.
No, what's a micro?
What's a micro influencer?
The ones that are crying.
Depends on the partnerships.
$50,000 a year maybe?
No, it's per post. It's some people get 10,000 per post. Some people get 12,000.
Hello. Wait.
Right?
Hold on, Bella. What is that? How do we do this?
Wrong?
What are you doing wrong?
Right.
Have you made money off of TikTok?
Not yet.
No.
You seem so disappointed. Well, the fact that it's not gone anywhere, we told you it wouldn't.
Yes.
Fine.
However, if you deleted the app, Amanda,
yes, you could just saying you can't get it back.
You can't get it back.
Nope.
However,
Amanda's dumb.
when a little square popped up and was saying, from Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the U.S., I was quick to jump on this because people were getting back on the app. I was like, this is my time to shine.
Yeah.
So I posted.
This is my moment.
So I posted a picture to God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood with the text, everyone doubted my boy Donnie for the peeps. And I got 9.5K views and I got 1,000 likes. And I got
9.5K views. You mean 9,500?
Yeah, but on the app it goes.
I like how you guys talk now.
Right? Yeah, 9.5K views.
You got another language, right?
1,000 likes, and I got 45 new followers.
So the $22 I've made off of feet pics is $22 more than you've made off of Instagram.
My goodness!
Wow, I just got real roasted on the air.
Yeah. Hey, do you know though?
You got roasted.
There are phones that still have TikTok that works.
Yeah, mine does.
Right. That are being sold on eBay for $25,000.
I saw that at 2 a.m. like this morning early when I accidentally woke up, and I was thinking to myself, why would you do that? Because they're just going to get this fixed and then they'll be able to download it for free again.
Exactly
Like,
right.
it's so stupid.
Oh, wait. Why does it say Oh, that's Instagram.
You don't have TikTok.
I know, but so I can't download it right now?
No, you can't. If you
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
have-
look. TikTok and ByteDance apps are not available in the country or region you're in.
Yeah. If you have it, though, it still refreshes and it still works, which is crazy.
Can we talk about the next big thing?
What's the next big app you were...
No, from what I understand, and this was broken on our sister station, so I guess Amanda's moving on to a different place.
Oh, God. We're going to talk about this on the air?
And
yes,
so-
she is. She's leaving. That girl...
It's your girl, and so we might be looking at another director of social media. I'm just wondering, like,
not me.
Wow.
They're hiring someone. They're going to put a posting.
They're bringing in like a real...
What?
Oh, Rhino. That's ugly.
No, I meant like a real, like, old person.
That's
like an old person? Yeah, that's
no,
why. Instead of going with the kids.
I'm rooting for you
Me
if that's something that you want.
Have you thrown your hat in the ring for that?
I don't think I'm being considered.
Okay.
I think your quality. Is there anyone we can? Is there anyone we can talk to?
Yeah.
That'll help progress this along the
Can
line.
we go have a vape with somebody and talk to them?
You know, I think,
is it the vaping that threw you under the bus?
I guess it could be the vaping.
Just that vapor cloud.
Yeah,
that
that
would
cloud
go
around
over
your
her
neck.
desk.
I could barely
I
work
got in
over
trouble. Colin saw me with my vape.
Oh, no, darn.
General sales manager's like, I hear she vapes outside.
It's like, I'm going to ruin dry January and make her vape.
It's a good scenario that if we can help you land it, then at that point, whatever you want to move on to, you're like, I was the director of social media for a very successful media company. And then at that point, you can write your own ticket. You can do what you want. Bella, you can have it all.
Yes,
you can
but I don't
you
think
can
I've
even
been in
tell
the field long
tell
enough.
your boyfriend when it's time to get married.
Kimmer's got a in with all
Oh,
these
God.
guys, and the way he talks about you and your princess hair and Princess
Kimmer!
Bella, you need to get him on your side.
The Zimmer.
Yeah, all you have to do, you have to
He
play
loves
it up.
my hair, guys.
Yes, he loves your hair.
Loves my
you
hair
have to
and
play
his-
it up and be like, hey, if you want, I'll let you sniff my hair, but you got to go tell them I should be the social. Go to David.
Oh, God.
See? Told you.
Oh, we just took it.
He
Come on,
loved
Kimmer.
my
yeah.
zigzag headband.
Yeah.
He calls it like a princess thing.
Well,
He can't figure out like
very
tiara.
princess-like.
He wants to say
Very
tiara, but he doesn't
Princess
know.
era.
He doesn't know the word.
Zigzag thing.
He's like a zigzag. Yeah, she got a thing in her hair. It makes her look like a princess.
Oh God, so dark.
And then poor Pete. Oh, God, why are you doing this to
Please,
me?
move
Yeah, when they
Move
run
on.
off in that direction, do you not just kind of like turn the radio down a little bit?
Well,
You get flattered
I'm
by
at
it,
the
don't
I'm
you?
at the gym during that time, so I don't really listen to her.
Oh, okay, got it.
Well, okay, well, good. Well, then I'm going to report it to you. I'm going to be like, turn it on right now.
Yeah, you have to like text me.
I know. I should have texted
He's
you
talking
yesterday.
right now.
I was trying to ignore you while you text me yesterday because
Oh, wow.
she wants me to jump in because we got a really big event coming up and I'm really excited about it, the polar bear plunge.
Oh, yeah.
that, Tug decided he wasn't going to jump in last year.
And not this year again.
So I told Bella
Team players.
Yeah, I was going to try to do a
Right.
cold plunge, but my cold plunge tub. It doesn't work, so now I got to figure something else.
Why don't you just go
Get a
sit
hole
in a bucket or something?
Do you
and
think I
just
should
send
get one?
video
Maybe
to
I'll
me?
go to Home Depot.
Gives
Get
himself a
bucket.
heart attack.
Just have a heart stopped. Just have to do a cold plunge in a bucket.
What if I just poured a cold
how
bucket?
big of a bucket do you have to put
Can
a
I
human
pour-
in?
Like those big, like you could so find them.
He
at,
lives
like,
near
Costco.
the lake. Just
Yeah.
let him go jump in the lake and save him some
then
cash.
live in.
Oh, that's a good idea. You know what? I'll take you on a hike all the way down to the lake.
Oh, I'm
Not
good.
you. I don't want you. Not, what I meant
I was like, I'm not going.
on video.
I'm not going to no
On
hike.
well, I'm saying on video.
She doesn't do anything in
Yeah,
nature.
I'm not taking you into my house.
Have you ever been camping?
She would annoy me forever.
No, I will only glamp. Like if there's a nice bed in there.
Right.
I'm not.
All right.
I'm not getting a sleeping bag
You
and
really are a
sleeping on the
princess.
floor.
Have you ever been hunting?
No, you think I can shoot?
I would like to think
you
you're
want
willing
to?
to learn.
I'm from New Jersey. Where am I
Oh, my
shooting?
God.
Oh, yeah, there's
a gun?
nobody shooting
You're
guns
not-
in New Jersey.
Right. Just
Well,
only at drones.
I know it, like hunting. Where am I gonna hunt? I live right
Oh, my
outside
God.
New York
You-
City.
Oh, my God.
Has your boyfriend
You're
ever
not living
hunted
in
or
Georgia.
camped?
You're in Georgia.
I live in the
out-
city though.
Listen, you can drive outside that stupid city like 20 minutes and go kill something. Come down. Look, you want to shoot a deer? Come over.
I'll come shoot.
Erin would love to have
Wait,
you
but
over.
I'm, like,
She'll show
so
you how to shoot.
Scared to hold a gun.
Oh, you
I'm
need
like,
to. I'll work
I
on
just
that.
feel like I'm not strong enough. It doesn't it like kick back?
Oh, my God.
It just takes some
You're
practice.
such a
You'll get used to
girl.
it. What else is
You
on
really
your
are a
list
princess.
for 4B?
So Justin Bieber, do we know who Justin Bieber is?
Yes, he's the gay kid.
Okay.
Strong ties to
So he went on an Instagram rampage unfollowing Usher, LeBron James, big influencers, and then he unfollowed his wife, and the public eye caught it, and he said, someone went on my account and unfollowed my wife.
Liar.
Things are getting sus out here.
Liar.
That's a lie. I think they got into a fight, and he's trying to
Oh, he's not
play
gay?
it. What?
He's married. What's his wife's name?
Hailey Bieber.
I've heard of her.
Yeah.
Such a cute lady.
She's beautiful, but they have a lot of problems. You know, the public eyes always kind of hated them because of Justin and Selena back in early 2000s. People always shipped them together and everything. But
Gen Z probably thought that. It never crossed my mind one time.
Now, what did his wife do? Or is she just
I
like
don't
a
know.
lucky girl that met Justin Bieber?
Her dad's Stephen Baldwin.
yes.
Oh, well, there
and
you go.
she was a model and all that. Yeah.
Is or was?
I
Still
think
is?
she owns her own business called Rhode now, which is like skincare.
Okay.
But
they all
she
do
was
that.
a model.
They do.
Yeah,
You're right. They all do that.
It's the norm now. Every
What?
model becomes a skincare.
Why, when it comes to the
Or
amount of
business.
technology that we now have, whether it's the, authentication systems or anything else, why does anyone still claim that they've been hacked?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's so silly.
You guys
Or
got into
somebody
a
did
fight.
this.
You guys got into a fight and you unfollowed her and you got caught.
They have Democrat strategists telling them what to do.
How to lose.
Yeah.
How to get it wrong.
Just say this. I know no one will believe you, but
That's right.
say
I'm
this.
hacked. I got hacked.
I got hacked.
4B, thank you for keeping us in the loop. That way we know what Gen Z's thinking and doing. Mm-hmm. Have
Thanks,
a faith for
Princess.
me.
Thanks for having me.
And I can't wait till you're director of social media around here.
The director of vaping at DVC.
Leverage your power. Kimmer got you.
There you go. That'll do it for us for Bella Rhino, Front Office Lowe's, Board Up, Goey Virgin River. My name is Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?